Boys and girls, it's all gone wrong. It's genuinely, it's like we're streaming back in the garage again from many years ago. Firstly, I'm wearing a QWERTY t-shirt, which I don't think I've done in a stream for a long, long time. Secondly, I've run out of coffee beans, so I'm having to have instant coffee. So as a result of that, I'm having it in my Arrow mug that I always used to use exclusively back in the garage. It's not going to focus on the Arrow mug, is it? Trust me, it's an Arrow mug. So yeah, I'm drinking bad coffee, and because of that, it's dictated the mug and the t-shirt. So yeah, it's all gone wrong. It's a disaster. Yeah, the bin men may as well be out there. It's a disaster. Goodness me. How are we all doing? Are we all good? Have we all had a delightful Monday? Are we all back and refreshed and happy and raring to go? Thought you were going to say it's freezing in my room. That's not a bad idea, actually. Maybe I should. I mean, the window's already open. I don't know. How would I make it colder? Just turn the air conditioning on in almost November. Get the UK belt back on view. That belt. We're going old school. No, I don't need to touch things. I don't need to touch the buttons anymore. Matt has remote access to my PC now. He was installing new drivers after I went to bed last night, apparently. So the issue we had last night, hold on, I can tell you what caused it. It was, I mean, there's a lot of words here. There was an OBS crash caused by the NVIDIA driver crashing, which only caused the encoder to stop functioning rather than taking out everything else. He doesn't think it was caused by FM or multi-streaming. As a precaution, he's done a fresh install of the graphics driver. Might need to hoover my insides. Words to that effect. Time to Deliveroo some coffee. Can you get coffee on Deliveroo? I don't use Deliveroo enough. Deliveroo is a dangerous thing. I don't think I have Deliveroo here. I think we have Just Eat and Uber Eats. I don't think we have Deliveroo. So it's probably for the best. Thank you for the subs, by the way, to Col, who's done 19 months. Oh, is my thing not up? I can see. Hold on. Yeah, Col. It was only showing me half of it. Rossi B, or Rossib. Thank you for the prime as well. Much appreciated, boys and girls. Hello to people over on YouTube as well. Are you not doing a Lego stream on Mondays? I mean, as I mentioned on last week's Lego stream, we were always going to have this Friday and this Monday off because of Football Manager. The Lego streams will be back from Friday onwards. So going forward, Fridays and Mondays will be Lego on YouTube over on Block Party, and we'll fit the Football Manager streams in around it. But it's still launch weekend. We've still got a shiny, fresh new Football Manager game, so we have to play Football Manager. Those are the rules. Oh, we've got the LOLLUJO view being pushed in the chat. I approve of it. It's good to see Benji back in the content creator party. Is it? If any FM deserves another round table chat collab, I am up for a round table. I imagine my presence would make it interesting because I suspect I'd have differing views to any other 3 randomly selected people he could find. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Keep up the excellent work, Kev. I like where this is going. Ignore the haters. Loving the t-shirt. Yeah, I got myself caught up in reading nonsense this afternoon, which I shouldn't have done. But I've had some Maltesers, gone on a blocking spree, and I feel much better now. So I think we're good. Look at me doing actual modding. I know it's a dangerous thing. Right? Shall we play some Football Manager? I think we should play some Football Manager. Topher wants an intro. An intro to what? I don't even know where we are in the save. Let's look at the save first. Then I'll see about doing you an intro, you rascal. Where did we get to? Should we look at the fixtures? Yeah, okay. I now see why I named the stream what I've named the stream. Because we've had a good start to the season where we looked really good, and then a rough run. And then that's when we changed the tactic and we had another couple of good results. And now we're very much in a rough run again. Although, to be fair, we've only actually lost 1 match in that run. But we also haven't won in 6 games. So I propose we keep the tactic for the Blackpool game. And if it doesn't work against Blackpool, then we probably are going to have to shake everything up and shuffle everything around again. Because one thing I was pondering when I was pondering the save is we're not actually using this guy, who is our best player, but doesn't fit into this tactic we're using currently. So there is probably an argument for shuffling the tactic around again so we can use him. As mentioned, he is our best player and we're not using him. Dylan, thank you for 16 months. TJS, thank you for the Prime. Celtic Gamer or Celtic Gamer. Is it Celtic or Celtic? Thank you for the 5 months. Now I'll do you an intro, Topher. Now I know what's going on. Where's my full screen? There we go. Well, for the second time this season, we thought we had a good tactic. We started playing good football and then it's just gone. So there might be the third tactic of the save coming up very shortly. Or maybe FM26 benefits from the same thing that FM24 benefited from. And by this being a fresh stream, we've reset the RNG and we'll be able to start winning again with the same tactic we're already using. That would be the perfect scenario. I love a bit of RNG. Yeah, I do. Is Jack actually as angry as his video title suggests? Negativity puts me off. Yeah, don't watch it then. I've not seen it. I don't know the answer. But if I can do anything to put you off watching Jack's video, I am all for it. So yeah, he's furious. But he puts his fist through the wall, breaks tables, all sorts. Yeah, he's a nightmare. Don't watch it. Probably unsubscribe from him. I did toy with the idea of watching the video on stream to see what he had to say, because I didn't have time to watch it before the stream. I literally got today's 4 o'clock video up. I think it was up with 3 minutes to spare. This 4K thing. Oh my word, 4K is going to be the end of me. But I got that up with moments to spare, and then had to faff around doing adult things for an hour. Got some dinner down my neck, and then I was in here streaming. In amidst all this, I noticed Jack had made a video, but do not have 45 minutes to sit and watch it, either IRL or in this stream. I'm not giving him 45 minutes just for the video. And then if I'm having to react to it, we can all sit here quietly and watch it together for 45 minutes. And then it's only 45 minutes we're wasting. But if I'm having to react to it as we go, we may as well close the game. That would be the entire stream, just us watching Jack together. And no one wants to spend the evening doing that, I don't think. So no, I don't know what he says in the video yet. Does anyone want to summarize it for me in one comment? I don't want to have to read multiple lines any more than I want to watch a 45-minute video. So if anyone would like to summarize Jack's video in one sentence, I'll review that happily. Paul, thank you very much for 64 months. You could always watch it at 1.75 speed. The optimal speed. The speed of champions. Absolutely, I could. I'd rather not watch a Jack video, thanks. I agree. Strong agree. I will hydrate with my horrible weak coffee. I'm getting close to the end of my first season in League 2. How do I replace Director of Football recommendations for FA? What's FA? Free agents. I don't know. I've not tried to do it yet. I mean, the replacement for Director of Football recommendations is the transfer room, which I don't know if we can ask for price ranges on. It doesn't look like you can. So there's no way to specify that they're free agents. So I guess we go into the forbidden player database, and we're relying much more on our scouts actually doing their job over the course of the season. So if you go into player database, you can filter scouted on, scouted off. I'm still not going to be just looking at the wider database because I'm not a monster, but I will. This is where your scout reports live now. So I guess we're going in here and filtering this for contract expired. I mean, it won't. It's October in this, so it won't show for me. There'll be no one on there, I guess. Oh, what do you know? There you go. We've got a bunch of Patrick Bamford. Interesting. Courtney House. Didn't he play for England at one point? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Who did he play for? Aston Vanilla. Maybe it was only an FM save he played for England. Or maybe it was that season. I vaguely remember him being quite well thought of at one point. But yeah, so I guess this is how we're doing it. We're relying on our scouts. Oh my word. I never thought we'd find ourselves in this situation. We actually have to pay attention to scouting. Hideous. But I guess that's what we're going to do. I mean, we'll figure it out when we get into Non-League to Legend next week. Can you still delegate signings to Director of Football? Yes, you can do that in staff responsibilities, which for some reason, I keep seeing this one mentioned on Twitter as an area people can't find. I am a little bit alarmed that there are people out there who can't find the staff recommendation, the staff responsibilities thing. So you just go into club and there's a drop down on club for staff and it's there. It's really not hard to find. But in order to get the staff to do transfers for you, you go into delegation and then transfers and initiating player signing. So I have got Barry Fry initiating transfers for me. I don't know that he's done one yet, so I can't vouch for it actually working because I don't remember it happening at any point. But that could just be that we've already got too many players and he doesn't think we need anybody because we've already got like 3 unregistered players in our squad that we need to sell. So, I mean, that's how you turn it on. Can't guarantee it works. We will see. Do Miles and SI not get annoyed at giving access to content creators just to slowly get slated by a majority of the big creators just for views? Right, there's two parts to that. What is this just for views narrative? That this is like this week's version of Grown Man, by the way, isn't it? Why do you think I've spent the last 10 years making videos? It was never about the views until this week. I don't know why when everyone's upset, we're adding in just for views. Every video that every content creator ever makes is just for views. Because if no one's watching it, what would be the point of making it? It's such a nonsense, and we're nipping that in the bud. We're not having just for views as a criticism here. I believe it or not, boys and girls, I'm only streaming this now so that you can watch. I wouldn't be sat here if I didn't have if my internet went down, I wouldn't be sat here in this room now talking through what I was doing in my save. I'd just do it privately. So let's have no more of this just for views nonsense, because I've seen a lot of it today and it's very silly. But yeah, I imagine that it's not ideal for them, but on the flip side of it, what can they really expect? They can't control us. You know, if they don't want people to be critical, then they shouldn't leave themselves open to criticism. I mean, obviously, I like the game. I am quite happy to be very clear about the fact that I'm enjoying it, but even I am not blind to its faults. I can see it's very buggy. I acknowledge there are a gazillion bugs that have been put on the forums. So it's obviously not perfect. And slowly but surely, the more we play, the more I am noticing things that I wish were in there that I used to use, I guess, sporadically, like the club division history thing that we noticed on the 100 Years in the Future video. I would love that to be in there. I'm pretty miffed that it's not. It makes those holidaying into the future videos much harder to do. The Dark Pete, thank you for 18 months. So yeah, I imagine if you were to ask Miles and Sports Interactive, they would be like, yeah, we'd much prefer creators were positive at all times, but they can't make that happen, can they? So I guess it then gives them, they don't have two choices to make. They could either not give us the game, in which case they're setting themselves up for, I mean, imagine if we'd have got to imagine if they'd announced the beta. Was it Monday they announced when the beta was coming out? They announced it was Thursday. Imagine if that announcement had come out on Monday and none of us had been given alpha content and alpha access, and we won't be doing that content that we've done for the last 6 or 7 years. Every year we've done it. Imagine the videos that would have come out then. Well, they've announced the beta and they're hiding the game from us. So it's a kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. they kind of are in a situation where if they don't give us the access, videos will be made about that. And if they do give us access, then they can't control our thoughts afterwards, can they? I don't think anyone there is naive enough to think they were going to have a smooth ride on this launch either. I mean, I've not had the conversation with anybody there, but I imagine there are people within the studio who were braced and ready for this. They're testing the same game we're playing now. They know. J Tiz, thank you very much for 43 months. If the beta was creators' actual first look at the game, PR would surely be even worse. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Yeah, if anything, they've got an easier ride off of creators, because even I would have been negative if I hadn't have played the alpha. And before I get misquoted on Reddit, that's not me saying alpha access bribed me into being positive about the game. It's me saying I got to go through that first 10 or 15 hours pain point in the privacy of my own home with the cameras off. So by the time I made my alpha content, I was more comfortable with the game. And certainly by the time the beta came out, I was pretty comfortable with the game. So yeah, if they'd have just dropped it on us and it was the first time any of us played it, yeah, that would have been even worse. So I guess they have stopped that from happening for sure. Did you see the news that we get a Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday patch? I haven't seen that news. Like I say, been super busy. Where are we getting that news from? Is that official or is that speculation? Because that's awesome if that's the case. Where's our Monday patch? We've not had one since Friday. Am I allowed to be ungrateful? They've tweeted about it. Oh, okay. Well, there you go then. No, I didn't know, but that's got to be a positive. That tells me they're pretty confident they're going to be able to have enough of a difference between each of those days for it to be worth releasing a patch. Because the last thing they want to do is release a patch and everyone will be like, what did that do? So they must be confident they're going to be able to fix a whole chunk of stuff each of those days and consistently make the game better. So that's a positive. I imagine I'm supposed to hate it. I can't work out why I'm supposed to hate it yet, but it feels like a positive to me. Do you miss Harrison Burrows? Yes. Yes, Harrison Burrows is a level of quality far and above anything we currently have at Peterborough United Football Club. Reddit are already poking fun at the fact the game is getting paid. Oh, Reddit is just full of absolute wallies, isn't it? I've not really experienced Football Manager Reddit before. I didn't really use Reddit at all until I started doing the Lego content. And that's where I get my Lego leaks from, for my Lego content. So I kind of learnt to use Reddit, which has in turn led to me discovering the pleasure that is Football Manager Reddit for this launch. It's my first exposure to it. What a bunch of pillocks they are. My word, it's a cesspool. Goodness me. So yeah, again, it's what another example of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So they're somehow seeing daily updates this week as a negative thing. Can I clip and send it to Reddit? Fill your boots. I can't make my reputation there any worse, can I? What save am I enjoying most at the moment? The Arsenal one, because I'm doing quite well in that one, whereas this one I'm finding quite hard. Is our goalkeeper gone forward here? Because we're on very attacking. It looks like it's the same criteria as FM24. You have to be past the 90th minute. Do a football! Oh, come on! For goodness sake! If that had not gone in after hitting the woodwork twice, that might have been my first walkout. My word. We have made a meal of this. Crossbar. That Frith hits the crossbar, and then I think it's him who hits the post, so it's Frith again. So he's hit the crossbar and the post in the same move, and then finally scores. Goodness me. Well, at least we're not losing, I guess. We're also not winning. So I think we are going to have to tweak again, and we need to get Garbett more involved. Right, we're trying a 4-2-3-1 because I want Garbett in behind us. I say that, but the problem is we've got too many good strikers. That's why we moved away from the 4-3-3, because we've got too many good strikers and too many good wingers. So we can't really do my beloved narrow diamond because we need to get the wide. We spent a lot of money on wide players. We spent like £2.5 million on wingers. So we've got to play them. But we've got so many strikers that we've got to play them. We are kind of hands tied a little bit on what kind of system we can use because this squad is bobbins. No wonder Fergie got sacked. Siggy, thank you very much for 28 months. Game needs fixing. We complain. SI fixed the game on multiple patches with 1,000+ bugs we reported, and then we complain. This makes complete Reddit sense. Yeah. I am learning a lot about Reddit. Oh, Matt's in the YouTube chat today. Can't keep track of him. He's everywhere, the rascal. That just proves that no one Reddit understands the concept of code deployment or release branches. I don't understand several of those words, and I have a computer science degree. The beta branches are something you have to opt in for. Steam won't just update everybody. Oh, is that true? So we're not getting automatic updates. We actually have to say we want them. Is that right? You might have to show me how to. Am I allowed to touch those buttons, Matt? Right. We're encouraging. That was my first encourage of FM26. Oh, I should have shouted it for old time's sake. I tell you what, encouraging these boys feels so good. Oh, I feel like I can do anything now. Right. I mean, that has been a rotten October. Huh. To the tactics. Where do tactics live? They're on my bookmarks. So, we've got this one, but we can't get enough strikers in. We've got this one, but we can't get Garbett in. So, what we need is something absurd. It's time for absurdity. We're being thumbsed up a Gegenpress. Get me a Gegenpress. Right. 4-2. A 4-2. If you insist, Football Manager. Now, you could all see my hands were tied there. I've just followed the thumbs ups. If this ends up working, I had no choice. And then should we do that one? No, that's what we've been doing out of possession. We'll do that out of possession. What is that? 4-4. I mean, there's a lot of numbers there. That feels like there's too many numbers. 4-4-1. Oh, okay. It's 4-4-1-1 with 2 DMs. I'm like, that's too many. Yes, I'll do the 4-4-1-1-2. That's exactly what I was asking for. I needed extra players, and I thought it was there. Scott, thank you very much for 4 months. That would have been, if that had worked, if that had given me 2 extra players, that would have been phenomenal. Alas, doesn't. I don't want to do that anyway. Oh, do I want to do that? I can't see how it varies massively from this. I don't know why we feel the need to call that something different. It's all getting a bit FIFA-y. Right, let's do that. So this guy goes up and helps press. Because we've got a 6'3" lump up front. He's not going to be much use at pressing. So Garbett can play there and then get up and do some pressing. Is he going to be able to do that though? He probably can't either. Okay, we're doing that. Have I tried with a controller yet? I've tried accidentally with a controller at the weekend because I connected with my Steam Deck to test it on Steam Deck, but it was while Matt was here, and rather he was doing important things, and all of a sudden I took control of the PC accidentally with my Steam Deck. So I used my Steam Deck as a controller for the PC game that was already open, and it does navigate quite well. I'm wary. I am wary of saying that it's obviously been developed for console, because to the best of my knowledge, we haven't seen any of the console game yet. And I don't want to get caught out with, you said it was like this because it's on console, and then they release console and it's completely different. If we've seen screenshots or something of console somewhere, please direct me towards them so I can form an opinion. But it does feel that it works quite well. Some of the stuff that's weird in the UI with a mouse makes sense when you use a controller. Sports Interactive should put a blog out telling people to try it. Nave, thank you very much for the Prime. Matt says, irrespective of what others do, that can't be done in a Kev-safe way without contravening Twitch's and YouTube's terms of service. And vice versa. What? What did I suggest? I'm confused now. Why is Peter Kyoso looking at me? What have I done? Right, let's pick our best 11. And then whack some rolls on. And then have a look what's going on here. Does this all make sense? This looks quite good. I quite like I mean, I know the idea was to get Garbett in there, but if Leonard can do that role. Leonard is an attacking midfielder and a striker, so he might actually be even more suited for it. This seems like it might get the best out of a guy we spent a lot of money on. Harry Leonard cost us £500,000. Garbett was a free transfer. We're going to try this, obviously, on a positive mentality. Who are we playing next? We are playing Truro. I mean, if we can't beat Truro, what league are Truro in? The Tinners! Did we know that was their nickname? Oh, we might have to do a save with Truro. Only long-time Twitch viewers have any idea what I'm talking about now. I am a Tinner. I don't know about you. Are you a Tinner? Carl, thank you very much for the Prime. For those of you who were not around back in the day, we officially defined a Tinner as somebody who eats their Fray Bentos pie straight out of the tin. Obviously, you have to like Fray Bentos pies. If you're not in the UK, you're like, what do you mean pie and tin? What are you talking? Basically, in the UK, you can buy a pie in a can. A meat pie in a can. It's basically a tin can the size of a small plate and about an inch thick with a layer of dog food in the bottom and then a layer of raw pastry on top, and you open it with a tin opener, put it in the oven, the pastry puffs up, you cut your fingers and bleed everywhere on the sharp tin, and then eat the pie. And the Queen used to like them, apparently. The Queen used to eat them on the train. I don't know how she cooked a Fray Bentos pie on a train. Presumably someone did it for her. Doesn't feel like any of my concern. But yeah, I am a Tinner. The Queen was a Tinner. Are you a Tinner? You're wrong, and if you're not a Tinner, agreed. But we are all Truro, apparently. How did that never come up? Sounds horrible, not from the UK. Oh yeah, it's nasty business. If you think too much about it, the thing is, it tastes nice as long as you don't spend too much time thinking about what it actually is. Because once you realise it's mystery meat in gravy and a lot of onions, and then this weird congealed pastry mixed in with a dose of your own finger blood. Yeah, if you think too much about it, not for me. But yeah, they're delicious. Fray Bentos flavour tier list. Do they do a steak and kidney pudding version, don't they? That's the best one. Even though, I mean, does it even count if we're doing a tier list? Balls to Football Manager. Let's talk about this. But yeah, I like the steak and kidney pudding. But it's not a pie. I don't think you're a tinner. Is it even a tin when it's a pudding? Making this sound very appetizing. It's like top tier British cuisine. And don't worry, it's entirely unseasoned. We are our own stereotype. If you don't eat it from the tin, most of the filling stays in the tin. Exactly. And you're going to bleed even more trying to get it out of the tin because the pastry will stick to it. Loads of onions to mask the taste. Yeah, exactly. But I used to have them quite regularly when I was younger. I'm quite the fan. I don't know what recruitment focus we've just created, but we haven't got any. We've got no squad space. The crispy pastry is top tier. Everything inside is trauma inducing. The thing is, it's only crispy on the top, isn't it? Because it's been sat there congealing in the can for years. Because I don't think anyone goes to the shop, buys one of these and eats them straight away. It's very much an emergency back of the cupboard for when you're waiting for payday, or can't be bothered to go to the shop, or you're sick and you just want something easy. You don't have to, I don't know that I've ever gone out and bought one deliberately to eat there and then. It's the kind of thing that I've probably got a couple in my cupboard now that I've got no intention of ever eating, but I will eat them eventually. But because the pastry is all horrible and congealed on the bottom, it goes crispy on the top. At least in my oven, it goes crispy on the top, but the bottom part stays what I would describe as gluey. Quite gluey. Are you going to do a save in the women's leagues this year? I don't know that I'm going to do a save specifically in women's leagues, but I am going to have them loaded in the majority of my saves. Like the women's leagues will be loaded in non-league to legend. So there is, we've just built a tactic around him. There is every possibility we end up at a women's club at some point in non-league to legend if it is the right job for me to take. So yeah, the women's leagues will be loaded. Like if I'm managing Bedford and we get 2 seasons in and Arsenal ladies offer me the job, then we'd obviously take it. If I'm already managing Arsenal and Arsenal ladies offer me the job, probably less likely to take it. So I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know where Football Manager ranks them in the grand scheme of things. I also, one thing I've not seen at all, which might completely change non-league to legend and how it works, I have not at any point been offered a job interview yet. Now, to be fair, I've not made it into a second season in any save yet. So it could just be that I'm not far enough into any of my saves. But if there are no job offers, like if you don't ever get headhunted, we are going to have to come up with some new rules, or a new rule, potentially. Did I download logos, kits and face packs? No. I figured when there's 7,000 bugs, someone said before, when it's a game that's already got 7,000 bugs, let's not mod it just yet, eh? Let's let them fix the vanilla version. It's not as if it's as urgent as it has been previously, because I'm managing in England and the entirety of the English pyramid, at least the playable pyramid, is fully licensed. So it's not that we're missing out on anything by not having it loaded in England. But I will do it at some point, I imagine. Wasn't this an issue in FM24? It was an issue in one at some point, wasn't it? Was it FM24? I feel like it got fixed before the second go around of FM24. The Arsenal women's manager gets paid around 2-3k per week, so I'm not sure how that relates to lower England men's tiers. Probably more than you get in the National League North. I mean, can we see how much the Bedford manager... I don't think... Have we got non-league loaded? So Bedford, their manager. How do we find their manager? I've not tried to do this yet. This is new territory we're exploring. Staff, probably, is where we'll find the manager. Coaching team. Manager. No. Coaching team. That's my coaching team. Round 2. Bedford. Bedford. How do we find out who your manager is? Does anybody know? Top right on club screen. Good eye. Lee Bircham earns £300 a week. So yeah, 2 or 3 grand a week for. But I imagine the reputation of Arsenal ladies is way higher than Bedford as well. So there's going to be all sorts of things to take into account. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Shady, welcome along. 83 months now for Shady. Good. Do not gift Smoothman a sub. I don't think he's here. Do not gift him one or I'll be furious. Chris as well, thank you for 25 months. I was just offered an interview for Man City in season 3 as Brighton manager. Okay, so we have got headhunting in. So that's, look at that, beautiful jacket. That's one consideration dealt with. Right, this is our first, I think this is my, oh no, I did it with Man United, didn't I? I thought this might have been my first time using a Gegenpress in FM26, but no, I literally did it on the alpha. I thought I'd gone like 4 days and that might have been a new record, but we are now, as you can see, very happily using a 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress. Let's go win a football match with it. I mean, we should against Truro. We've got a heavily rotated team. Perfect combo watching the Arsenal save on my TV and the stream on my phone. That sounds like you are living the life. All you need is to be playing Football Manager on your laptop as well, and you've got the hat trick there. The perfect evening. I'll get him just for that. If you no Shady, please don't give money to me. Please don't give Smoothen a sub. It will really upset me. Please don't. Please don't do him a year in advance. I'd be horrified. I'm not convinced about 7,000 bugs. A lot of people are reporting. Oh, yeah, there's no way there's 7,000 unique bugs. I'm not having that at all. I've not looked at the list, but purely based on speculation. I can't think of 7,000 things you can do in Football Manager. That's just 7,000. What that means is 7,000. Oh, Jimmy J. Morgan. That just means there's 7,000 bug reports, right? So it could be the same one bug reported 7,000 times. I suggest it's probably not that either. I don't want to speculate on how many bugs there actually are. But yeah, there's no way it's 7,000 unique things. The game wouldn't function if there was 7,000 unique things wrong with it. Surely. And we're not playing on Mac, so it functions to a point. I love how Zed is all, it's a bad game, but I'm enjoying it. Oh, is that his stance? I mean, that's fair. It's a slightly amended version of mine, but he's better at PR than I am. I think it's a good game that's broken and not finished. But there's a good game there, and when it's done, it'll be great, and I'm having a lovely time. They even said that people should use the search function because there's so many duplicate reports. Wow. I had to report the quick pick not working, and I wasn't able to pick the players and drop and drag them to their positions. Quick pick's not working. I mean, if you want to see me do a proper turn in my stance on this game, take my quick pick away, and then you'll see anger. I'll be the star of Reddit if they take quick pick away. Jack's view is it's not a bad game, but a bad Football Manager. I'm not sure I know what that means. Yeah, I don't think I understand what that means. I need context to that. One thing I think they could change is the size of the squad on the bottom screen there. It's too big and takes up too much of the screen. Is it any bigger than it used to be? I mean, you can do this, which you never used to be able to do, which is quite cool. If you really want more stuff to look at, more of the beautiful match, the beautiful rainy match engine. I thought we'd done another football. I think he's saying hate the player, not the game. Is he? Is he talking in slogans now? The game feels a bit console-y and dumbed down. Yeah. My stance on that is I see quite a lot of that as positive. I'm not against it being dumbed down to a point because of how I like to play, and I have to believe this isn't the finished state. Even if they fixed all the bugs tomorrow, I still don't think that's the end of the vision. I don't think that's finished. I don't think they're intending to never bring back all the stuff they've taken out. But I tried to explain it to someone on Twitter earlier and probably got myself tied up and confused the situation even more. But again, language matters. And a lot of the stuff that's missing isn't missing because it's been taken out. It's missing because it's not been put in yet. And what I mean by that, if we just, why is he red? Is you've got to remember, they've completely rebuilt the game from scratch. They started with a blank page and an old game built in a different engine that they couldn't bring anything over from. So it's not that they've ported the game over into Unity and then started hacking things out of it. They've had to go through their feature list point by point and decide which ones they were going to rebuild as they were and which ones they were going to improve and make a better version of, and then which ones they were going to scrap off entirely. So as an example, we've got obviously Squad Planner as an example. They've just brought over exactly as it was. The set piece creator, they brought over exactly as it was. They've just rebuilt it in the new software. But they did have to rebuild it. It wasn't just dragged over. They've had to rebuild those things exactly as they were. Something like international football, they've decided they want to take this opportunity to make it better. So rather than wasting time rebuilding it as it was, only to that was almost a wonderful goal. So rather than wasting time rebuilding it as it was, only to then bin it off and bring out the new one 6 months later, they've decided to not include it for now while they make the better version of it. And then there's other stuff that they've decided, and they've said the same thing about that with Shouts as well. Shouts is intended to come back, but they want it to work when it comes back. So they're going to do it properly rather than bring back the old broken one that didn't really do anything. And that does make sense. And then there's other stuff that they've just decided for whatever reason is gone and probably not coming back. And I think some of the confusion comes from we don't know which items are on which of those lists, and they're not communicating timelines and intentions and long-term plans. And I think if they, as much as everybody laughed at their roadmap last year and the roadmap became like the mascot of the cancelled game, I think if they were to come out with a roadmap for the next 3 years, like when Marvel do a Comic-Con and they show you the roadmap of the next 5 years of movies. If they came out with a roadmap of this is when we intend for these missing features to come back, and these are the features that are gone because we don't think you need them. Get used to them not being there. Nobody used them. They are gone. And these are the ones that are coming back. And this is when we're aiming to bring them back by. And disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Obviously, we might not meet these deadlines. Some stuff might be ready sooner. Some stuff might be ready later. We reserve the right to change our minds, etc., etc., etc. Like proviso upon proviso. But if they gave us a rough idea of where we were heading, I think people would be a little bit more forgiving about their favourite feature not being there. Because, oh, my favourite feature's not there, but it is going to be back next year. So I just have to go without it for a year. And I'll sacrifice a year to get a better version of it. Because if they'd have had to have rebuilt the old broken one, then it might have taken them 3 years because they'd have to build the old broken one first. So they've got to build it twice. And that's a strain on resources. So if they were just better, and it comes back to the same thing we've been saying for the last year, if they were just better at communicating, everyone would be much more chilled out. Even if the product was exactly the same, if it had been better communicated throughout the last year, 2 years, week, whatever timeline you want to look at, if their communication was better, people would be less angry, even with the same product. I'm certain of it. I think part of the issue is a lot of the missing features were completely sprung on people. They announced 3 or 4 things that weren't going to be in there, and you don't hear anyone mention them really, because they've already been upset about them and worked through the other side. The things people are upset about are the stuff they didn't know was going to be missing, the stuff that was sprung on them. If they'd have just communicated 6 months ago that all this stuff's not going to be in FM26 and we knew in advance, then people would have made their peace with it by now. I don't know. Will they add international football in FM26? That's the plan. They've talked about it being a free module that will come out before the World Cup. Has anyone found the side preference yet of players where you used to hover over the position on the player screen? Shall we go hunting for it? Let's postpone that match because we've got a task. We've been given a task. Side preference. Do we know it's definite? So you're not talking about strong foot, weak foot. You're talking about if he's in a back four, does he want to play on the left or the right? If he's in a three, does he want to play left, right, or middle? I mean, it might not be in there. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe side preferences don't exist anymore. Has anyone found it? Does anyone know where it is? No one is saying Waite's coming back. Waite's not coming back. And no one cares. Because they had their little hissy fit about it a year ago. And now they don't care. And if they'd have just communicated all the missing stuff like that. And I think they were probably burnt by the reaction to stuff like that. I'm like, oh, we don't want everyone to be really cross at us for a year. But then all they've done is made a rod for their own back. And now people are upset now because the stuff's still missing, but they weren't ready for it to be missing. It was also a useless feature. Basically, all players had both sides. Yeah, it might be it's one of those that was in there as bloated fluff nonsense, but it didn't actually do anything. So they've perhaps decided just not to put it in. You can click on the positions above the little pitch on the player profile. That's what we were just doing. It wasn't on there, was it? I don't know why I've clicked on him. I thought he might have been a player. So click on positions. And does that have side preference? I'm not seeing a side preference on here anywhere. So I don't think it's in there. Ah! Have I picked it? Thought I was going to a match without picking the team. Right. That all seems to be in order. Let's do a football. We've got to win this. They told us most of the things that wouldn't be there. Did they? They told us like half a dozen things. And I've seen the list that's circulating on social media of the dozens and dozens and dozens of things that are gone. Yeah, the big things like touchline shouts they told us about. But the one I keep hearing people talk about is the heat map on the in-match screen. I don't think they announced anywhere that that was going to be gone. For example. Around a year ago, I played FM27 again. I ended up playing around 40 hours. Very nostalgic, but the simplicity of its features was actually refreshing after playing recent games. So I don't think the game being dumbed down a little is necessarily a negative. Yeah, I think what you have to remember is FM24, yes, it was the most complete Football Manager version ever. It was also 20 years of expansion packs, some of which cancelled out earlier ones, but the earlier ones were still in there. There was a lot of unnecessary faffing about in FM24. So stripping it back and starting that process again isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just needs to be communicated that that's what they're doing. I'm certain 90% of the issues are communication and not the game itself. Kieran, thank you for 20 months. Let's do a football. A football. What match settings do I use? It's dynamic sideline, I think. Yeah, dynamic sideline. Come on, Sariki. All these features and I still can't spend my wages on a dog. There's some people out there who would be so happy if they could buy their manager a house. I've never understood it. All I really want is to be able to be assistant manager of the youth team. and work my way up. That's one of my other favourite ones. Tell me, what tasks do you think you'd be in charge of if you were playing this game as assistant manager of the youth team? Because you won't be able to sign and sell your own players, because that will be dealt with by the club. Any players who are any good will be brought up to the team above you. You won't be picking the team because the manager of the youth team will be picking the team. You won't be picking the tactics because they'll be dictated from the rest of the club. You won't be running training because it's literally, I mean, you might be able to click a few buttons and say, today you're doing shooting, but you're not going to run them through shooting drills. So what would you be doing? Putting the cones out at training and sending reminder text to parents. Yeah, exactly. Madness. Does anyone remember Premier Manager and being able to design the stadium? I swear there'd be some people that if they just brought that out, they'd be happy. Just let me decide how many tiers my main stand has got, like all football managers can. Apparently we're getting a new beta tomorrow. Have you heard about it? Apparently there's updates tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, I only know about it from being told by you lot. There's been a tweet, presumably a tweet while I've been live saying that's happening. So, good. I mean, they did an update on Friday night. The more bugs they fix, the better. We should be able to, properly customize everything the way you could in the old theme park games. I want to be able to put more salt on the chips so people have to buy more drinks. And I want to put more ice in the Coke so you don't have to use as much syrup. And I want to... it's just... Yeah, that's the kind of... Well, the game's got manager in the title and you're telling me I can't decide the fat content of my cheeseburgers? What is the point of this game? Goodness me. Right. Wingers changed. All-Star United SC, thank you very much for the 29 months. Tier 3 as well, very snazzy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Be like Forest Green and enforce a vegetarian regime. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? No Frey Bentos pies for us. Bear-sized feet, thank you very much for 22 months, 6 months in advance as well. Based on my streaming schedule over the last 2 years, that is an incredible vote of confidence that I do appreciate. Thank you. Right, can we do a goal, please? We are not very good at doing goals. I think we need to bin off most of the squad and just start again from a clean slate. It's just not a very good team. Did the put salt on the chips to make them drink more really work? Yeah, it did. Absolutely it did. We're so good at football! Come on then! Yes. We're going to win the league. Making a whole new squad in one transfer window. FM Kev is truly back. Exactly. What Kev said on stream the other day about needing to make it through the first couple of hours of 26 was very right. A lot of things I say are very right. Hated it at first glance, 20 hours in, and it's lovable with room to grow. Which is how I'm often described. But yeah, I think there is a lot to like about the game. And hopefully, once they've cleared up all the bugs, hopefully we'll be sat here on Thursday night, having had 3 more patches and loads of bugs fixed. And we're like, actually, this is a much better game now. And then we can make some decisions about how we're actually feeling about certain elements of the game. Rather than, I swear there are some people who are blinded by the bugs. Yes, there's some people who are genuinely disappointed that their favourite thing to do is not in the game anymore. And I get it. If you really, really, really love shouting and it's not in the game, then you're probably a bit miffed. But I don't think that's a huge group of people. And I know I keep saying things like that and it keeps making people cross. But I don't know. I don't think they'd have done it if I have to believe, for my own sanity, I have to believe that Football Manager, that Sports Interactive have made the decisions on what is and isn't in the game based on their own data and evidence. I don't think they've just rolled a dice and been like, right, we're taking these features out and these are the ones that are going in. I have to believe they've prioritized the most used features, which, if you follow that logic along, means that any features that weren't prioritized aren't used as much. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I have to believe there's some order and some logic. So I'm choosing to believe that it's true. I've seen someone on Facebook say complaining the writing is too small. I mean, you can literally increase the size of the writing. In the same way as you used to be able to. If they're looking at that and they're like, even on the biggest one, the writing's still too small. I don't know what the solution is. Glasses, maybe? Yeah. Stop trying to play it on an 11-inch monitor. There's only so much help you can offer somebody. The aliens are a thing. Are they? Someone's had aliens. Fingers crossed. Shouts needed reworking. There were only about 3 of them that actually did useful things. I don't think any of them did anything. I only ever used them when I was on camera. In the in-betweeny bits, I never used them. I only used them on camera because people would get annoyed if I didn't. But on the in-betweeny bits, I would never touch them and didn't feel like my team were performing worse as a result. Unless there's some dodgy tracking and reporting going on, how do they know what features people are or aren't using? I mean, there's not any dodgy tracking. There's the tracking you agree to when you open the game for the first time and click your agreement to the terms and conditions. I mean, it's there in front of you. They know what screens you're using. It's all reported back through Steam. I'm more surprised at people being annoyed about international management not being around. It was never an interesting feature. Agreed. How goes the season? Mixed. Better than Posh in real life. And that's, I guess, the important thing. Shart's done nothing. Pretty sure Miles confirmed it. Yeah, he basically did. He didn't come out and say they don't work at all. I think his wording was... We talked about it last night. I think the wording was something on the lines of they never worked as intended. Which to me means they just didn't do anything, because surely the way they were intended to work was they did something. And the fact that they never did work as intended tells me they never did anything and they were just a placebo. Oh, Matt's in again. For anyone suffering from aliens, you need to lock the max frame rate of the game in your graphics card's control panel to what your monitor is capable of and run on vertical sync. There you go. Matt's offering tech support to the masses now. I think he's explicitly said they never did anything. It was only for the players' benefit. Has he? Well, there you go. And I don't think very many people used them either. As someone who is and has dedicated loads of time to being a beta early access tester for Hollywood Animal, I'm going to find out some more about Hollywood Animal before we move on too far. FM26 feels as early access as their game is, except the folks making Hollywood Animal, again, need to know more about Hollywood Animal, have handled the early access and release roadmap much, much better. Are they a game studio? As opposed to, games is not all we do. We're a football company who happens to make a game. That's quite important. Glad to find out the next gen is in the women's game too, and the top 50 best players. But there you go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I would argue that manager shouts from the touchline in real life do nothing either. Yeah, I'll agree with that as well. Having been a manager for 3 football matches now, I never did any shouting. Apart from at the opposition manager at half-time in the most recent charity game. I never shouted at my players. I'm too much of a nice guy. Part of it is because Matt broke my megaphone when we were down in Slough. Right, I would have done some shouting if I'd have had my megaphone. I just don't want to strain my voice. Can you upload tactics and set-piece routines? I assume so. It's a few guys in Belarus making a 30s Hollywood. Interesting. I want the option to look at my Pokemon cards like Amarim against Grimsby. Halftime team talks don't do anything. IRL too. My boys all pop out for a ciggy at halftime. I don't know that professional footballers do that. I think ciggies are frowned on in sporting circles on account of the significant advantages of maintaining lung capacity as a professional athlete. But I'm not a doctor. What do I know? They all vape now. They all use those weird pouches, don't they? I thought that was the epidemic. I read an article in The Athletic. I forget what they're called. The weird little pouches that they put under their lip or their tongue or something. Snus, is that what it's called? They all do that, don't they? So they get to have their addiction without ruining their lungs. We're just going to be in a situation in 20 years' time where nobody on Match of the Day has got any lips because they've all been removed. If the rumour is true, when they bring back shouts, apparently it will just be one shout, do a football, because that's all you need. Yeah, I mean, that would make all the sense in the world. Just make it a text box so you can type in what you want. I mean, if shouts do nothing, here's a quick win for you Sports Interactive. You can have this one for free. Just add a text box to the bottom of the match engine where people can type what they want, hit enter, and a little speech bubble pops up above the manager on the touchline and he says the thing that you typed. It doesn't need to have any impact on the game at all. I think people would feel a lot better if they could have their manager doing rude words on screen. I think that would cheer a lot of people up. If you type enough swear words, the ref comes over and gives you a yellow card. Do you remember that on when Xbox Connect was first a thing, and you would get a yellow card in FIFA if you swore? If you just sat there in your living room and if you swear playing FIFA, you would get a yellow card through the Connect. That was bonkers, wasn't it? But yeah, they could bring something like that in. VR manager for sideline gestures. I mean, in all seriousness, ever since I was a kid and you first started hearing about this sci-fi thing called virtual reality, I've always thought, how cool would it be to play Football Manager in a VR headset and just watch the entire match from the touchline and be able to look at... I mean, in reality, it would be nightmarish because I get massive travel sickness from VR. I can't really use VR without feeling ill. You'd have to watch the game full 90 minutes and it would be rubbish. You wouldn't see what was going on from down there. It's the worst place to watch football from. But it would still be cool to do once. Raiders, thank you very much for the Prime. Did you only get a yellow card, or if you swear, did you get a red card? I think you could get a red card, yeah. I can't remember what a red card did. Imagine getting a 2-match suspension from the weekend league because you did a swear. Has anyone noticed a difference in resting players after a Saturday before a midweek game? No. I'm just kind of doing it automatically because I always have. I don't know if it's making a difference. How would it work if you got a red card? Well, that's the ridiculousness of it, isn't it? Because I assume touchline bans are not in FM26. Because you could get them in previous FMs. And basically all it would do is take away your ability to do shouts. I guess you also can't do your own subs. You just have to watch the match and not be able to interact with it at all. So I guess that's what happens if you get a red card. We've got another one of these stupid Virtue Trophy penalty shootouts. Am I the only person glad that shouts are gone? I thought we all agreed they were rubbish. I'm completely indifferent to them being gone. I didn't care that they were there. I don't care that they're gone. I can't say I'm glad they're gone. I'm glad they didn't waste time working on them that could have been spent doing something else. Who's the non-league to legend start team this year? Bedford. Is it a week tomorrow, the 4th? Is that when we start? We might need to have a difficult conversation if the game is still really buggy on the 4th of November. So we might have to delay the start to non-league to legend. I don't want to. But the reason we don't start it during the beta is because we don't want to risk there being a game-breaking bug in a save that's traditionally like 20 seasons long. So if we do get to full release and there's still a load of bugs, we might have to push back the start a little bit and just carry on with the beta saves for a few more days or weeks or however long it takes to get a stable version of the game. I'd like to think it's not a situation we're going to end up in, but I would really, really hate to start non-league to legend, get 6 seasons down the road and then have it just fall apart and collapse. The instant result button was made for shootouts. You are so very wise. Why didn't I think of that? I don't need to watch this trash. It's a penalty shootout against Aston Villa's youth team and nobody cares. Yeah, too right we used the instant result button for that. Did we win? I think so. I don't really know. How do we see our group? I don't know. Hello, groups. So we're in the southern section, I think. Oh, we're rubbish. No trip to Wembley for us this year. Who cares? Darren Mullaney, thank you for the super chat. I've tried 3 tactics and still can't win. Last win was 5-0 against Burnley. That sounds like you can. I'm confused. It sounds like you can win. I don't know what's going on. Or was that a while ago? Have they done a non-league database? I love playing non-league on FM. The editor's not available yet, so there won't be any custom databases until the editor is available. Although apparently the editor did sneak out for... I think they released the editor with the beta by mistake because it was temporarily in my Steam library, but I didn't download it because I don't care about the editor. I'm never going to use that. It's not there anymore, but I think if you were a rascal and downloaded it immediately, I don't think there's any way for them to take it off your computer. So I think there are people out there who have the editor, even though they're not supposed to yet. So there might be people working on it. They're planning 3 separate patches within a week, so I'd say they're definitely putting in the work. I have faith it'll be working well on release. I hope so, yeah. I do hope so. Why not have an option of not having to view the 2D game going on at the bottom and being able to have 2 tiles in its place? Because allowing any kind of customization is additional coding that they're choosing to use to get the game working, I guess. I believe there will be quality of life updates that come out throughout the year. Miles kind of hinted at it in his interview with Jack. I think in addition to getting the International Football World Cup module thing, I suspect there'll be multiple little content drops throughout the year where they give us a few features back. I suspect. And I think one of them will be allowing a bit of customization, because I think they want people to be able to customize it. People love customizing stuff. You'll need the editor when the network game happens again, since we know Jack will probably resign. He is a goose. I mean, apparently network games are broken anyway at the moment, someone was saying on Twitter. So I don't think we're doing a network game anytime soon. Congratulations to you for breaking the Football Manager record from me as the Polish Football Manager record holder. What do you think of the new FM26? Is it worth buying? I mean, if you are into FM enough to have been a world record holder in it, yeah, probably. You'll probably quite like it. I mean, there's so many opinions out there on the game. I'm enjoying it. A lot of people are not enjoying it. So maybe have a think, maybe watch a few different content creators, find one who plays the game the way you play the game and see what they think. If you play the game like I do, relatively straightforwardly and quite fast paced, like can get a season done in 8 hours kind of guy. If you're a season done in 8 hours kind of guy, you'll probably quite like it. If you're a season takes 20 hours kind of guy, you probably won't, because you don't have 20 hours worth of stuff to do anymore, because a lot of it's missing. Is there going to be a streamer showdown this FM? I mean, there can't be currently. Certainly not without completely changing how the streamer showdown works, because we don't have fantasy draft and we don't have versus mode. So there's no way to physically do one currently. That's not to say they're not things that will be added in at some point that would allow us to do one. And then it's down to Ben and Matt about whether they want to do it, whether they've got the time to do it, whether they can live in a world where I win yet another one. These are all things to take into account. But at the moment, it's not even up for discussion, because there's no way to do it. I guess the only discussion there could be, and I'm not party to these kind of discussions because I just turned up and win the thing. I was never involved in the organisation of it. I mean, I guess there could be a conversation about, well, how could it be possible? But there's no way to do drafts. It would be a completely different competition. Basically, the only thing you could do with a lot of creators in is the league that Zealand arranged last year. So I guess there could be another one of them, because network games theoretically are in, although supposedly not working very well. But if they get network games stable, you could do something like that again. But you can't do a streamer showdown as it stands, because all the functionality you need to do a streamer showdown is missing from the game. I'll be buying it this weekend when I can actually put some time into it, but I'll only be using the LOLLUJO discount code. Good work, Shady. Excellent. Hashtag gentle plug. You need to find a long throw exploit. I mean, I am trying to get long throws working, by which I mean I've turned them on and I'm waiting to see one work. Are they doing another FIFA World Cup with Football Manager again? I hope so. There's nothing confirmed or announced at the moment. But I hope so. The last one was one of the most fun things I've ever been involved in. I hope they do one, and I hope I get to work on it again, because I had a really nice time. My Guinness record was 528 seasons played in FM18. Oh, mine's completely different. Mine's a streaming record. I played the game for, hold on. Oh, it doesn't say on my certificate how many hours. It was 50 hours and something straight. Yeah, in an ideal world, we do a FIFA World Cup around the time of the actual World Cup with the new international football module and the World Cup license, and they fly us all out to whatever city the World Cup final is going to be in, and we hang out there. I mean, think how World Cup final week works. You have the quarterfinals at the weekend, and then you have a few days gap, and then you have the semi-finals midweek, and then a few more days gap, and then the third place playoff and the final at the weekend. So there's a couple of spare days either side of the semi-finals. The last FIFA World Cup took 4 days to do. So you could have you could have a World Cup that fits in around that semi-final week, which would be very cool. Absolute rampant speculation, but then they could let me go to the World Cup final as well, which would be quite nice. Still got the new camp up. Yeah, new camp's behind me there somewhere. You'd go to the US now with all that's going on? Yeah, I'm going to the US a few times next year. I'll be there in June for a Lego convention. I'm planning a trip to Disney World at some point. How many hours have you got on your most played FM? I mean, I guess my most played one is FM24 because we had it for 2 years. So FM24, I can't load Steam up at the moment. It's just a blank screen. I don't know. Several thousand hours. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't want to risk crashing the game by trying to get Steam to be visible. MetLife in New Jersey is the venue for the final. There you go then. They could fly us out there. I'm too old to live my life in fear of going places. I'm fairly confident I'm unkillable. I've got a 43-year undefeated streak as a living man. So I have no reason to believe it's possible for me to be killed. Ergo, pretty comfortable going anywhere, doing anything. Am I imagining that many, many years ago, I used to watch videos of you when you worked in a school? I don't know. I mean, I did that. I don't know if you are remembering it or imagining it, though. I did do that thing. But you could still... That doesn't rule out you imagining it. So, difficult for me to answer. What colour was my tie? Kev's obituary will read X years, undefeated in life streak broken. I'm going to live forever as a machine. That's why I use ChatGPT so much. I'm training it to learn my brain so I can live forever inside it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, my word. Oh, my goodness me. Chaos. Absolute chaos. What we don't know is that Kev has already been replaced by an AI. That's how I'm looking so much younger and prettier than I was 10 years ago. I'm a machine. My brain is a robot. And we just replenish the flesh sack every now and again. Stay away from Brock Lesnar. I mean, it's a rule I live by anyway, really. Really uncomfortable with the term flesh sack. We say it like it is around here, boys and girls. Hey! We save penalties. Who's the best goalkeeper we've got at Posh? This guy, Bass. But he spent the first, demonstrating it again, he spent the first 6 games of the season injured. Yes, our squad is unbalanced and weird, both in real life and in game. And we have just sacked our manager in real life, but he hasn't had the best of luck. He signs a new... We've not had a good goalkeeper for like 2 years. We finally signed one and he immediately got injured and didn't make his debut until like the 7th or 8th game of the season. We've not had decent defenders in a year. We brought a guy in on loan last year. He was good. We agreed to sign him permanently. Signed him permanently in the summer. Made him club captain. He immediately got injured and hasn't played at all this season. We spent like £1 million on a winger who used to play for the Villa youth team, Valencia youth team, all over basically spent a ton of money on him and he's come in and got immediately injured. We've not had a lot of luck. So frustrating how the in-between screen highlights can't be showed. I mean, they can, but it just makes the games take forever. You can change your match speed in between highlights. You can take it down like super slow. The only problem is it then makes the game take much longer. And all it's doing is giving us more time watching the in-between bit that doesn't really matter anyway, because we know if we're only seeing it on here that nothing significant is going to happen. Because anything significant that's going to happen, we'll get a highlight for. So we just kind of push it up to full speed to get to the next highlight as quickly as possible. That's why I would happily turn it off if the option was there. And I'm sure in future versions of the game, the option will be to turn this off. And I've seen different viewpoints from different people. Some people love this. I think it's a complete waste of time. I just don't see the point of it. But I know there are people who think it's brilliant and the best new feature. Football would rather have a heat map. I never used that either. What if they're developing this one to get more console players on and then apply previous FM game streams in time? I mean, I can guarantee they're not going to do that. This isn't a stopgap and then they're going to bring the old screens back. What we have to remember, and it is sometimes difficult to apply context to a situation we're passionate about, but you all hated the previous UI. You all used skins. I was the one guy out there playing Vanilla FM. Everybody else used skins because you hated those screens. You don't want them back. They'll hopefully make better ones. The end game shouldn't be by FM27, let's hope it looks like FM24 again. The reason they've done all this is because people were fed up of FM24. I know it's a long time. Hey, we've got the bug. We've got the bug. We've got a guy who's come on with a tracksuit on. There he is, look. Sensational. I am delighted. Right, I've completely lost what I was talking about there. I got so excited. That's my favourite bug. Maybe it's a new feature and they get fined 2 weeks' wages. What, for coming on in their tracksuit? That would be good. I'd like that. No Dr. Pepper. No, I've run out of Dr. Pepper. I'm on the Fanta tonight. Not the only one, Curve. I've never used a skin. I love the previous UI. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, I think it does explain a lot of why I feel the way I do about the current version of the game as well. I didn't love the old UI. I don't love this UI. I spend as little time in the UI as possible. I'm here to play the matches. I've seen people saying the UI is FM. I spend 80% of my game time in the UI. And I'm literally the opposite. I spend 80% of my game time in matches. I spend as little time in the menus as I possibly can. I want the stories. I want the matches. Yeah, I enjoy a transfer window as much as the next guy. But the bits in between the transfer windows, that's just get through everything as quickly as possible so we can have the fun moments in the matches, see some goals go in, and then get to the next transfer window. Are you confident they'll iron out the plethora of bugs in time for next week? I mean, I'm confident it'll be a lot less buggy this time next week than it is now. Will it be bug-free? I like this, by the way. Again, if we're picking up things that I quite like, I noticed it when I signed Stuart Pearce to be a coach at Arsenal. It described him as a retired fullback. I quite like knowing the position a player played in even long after he's retired and he's now a coach. I think that's quite cool. So we have a retired centre-back who's come in as a scout. I like that. I haven't finished the Apple Fanta. I'm never going to finish the Apple Fanta. Are you confident that I'll be happy when I grow up? Everyone should be happy. If you're not happy, you need to make some changes. Nobody should be unhappy. Played 300 hours of FM24 and have never willingly clicked Dynamics or Squad Planner, for example. Whereas I am See, that's interesting, because they're two of the things I did use. I've never deliberately, apart from when you forced me to on streams, I've never deliberately clicked on the data hub, the medical centre. I haven't done a press conference in about 5 years. I only do team talks because chat bullied me into it. I've never set my own opposition instructions. I don't actually know how to set opposition instructions on FM24, never mind FM26. So yeah, there's lots of things I just don't do. But it shows how differently we play. Because I think the squad plan is great. And I'm actually missing the recruitment meetings that we used to have that I know a lot of people didn't use, but I quite liked the recruitment meetings. Yeah, never do my own training. I holiday between matches outside of transfer windows. Interesting. I'm not quite that extreme. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that different people play the games in so different ways and therefore have different ideas of what they're looking for from a Football Manager game. For me, if you offered me a year ago a much better match engine and a much worse UI, I'd be like, yeah, that's worth it. If the price of a better match engine is a worse UI, I'll pay that price. I feel like that's worth the trade. Whereas some people have entirely the opposite view. And both views are completely valid. I have absolutely no problem with people disagreeing with me. My issue today has been people calling me a liar and calling me a shill and telling me that but someone said, you're bought and paid for by Sports Interactive. What, because they gave me a free copy of a game that I can buy myself for £38 from the affiliate link scrolling around the bottom of the screen? Because I assure you it costs a lot more than £38 to buy an ad spot on one of my videos. I used to do my own training and all the time on previous FMs. I've just realised that I was wasting my time because there's been no difference on FM26 when I let my assistants do it. I've been telling you all for years. You got to use your staff. They're quite good. Game's got 1 million bugs. Kev got $1 million from SI. I wish they'd paid me. Honestly, I wouldn't mind being called out on it. If anyone from Sports Interactive is watching, I am comfortable with being called a shill if I'm actually getting paid. So if you want to send me a check, then we're good. I'm a bit miffed that everyone is annoyed with me for doing something I haven't even benefited from. That's frustrating. But I am quite happy to be a paid spokesperson for Football Manager if that job is available. I will hydrate. There are serious errors in the game that should not be glossed over. Who's glossing over serious errors? Tell me what the serious errors are, and I'll tell you if I care about them. Because I'm not, like I say, everyone's opinion is valid. Your opinion is valid too, as long as it's just an opinion about the game. The line is crossed when you start to form an opinion about me based on my opinion about the game, because I am making no judgments on you as a person based on you saying there are serious issues with the game. But I have had hundreds of people today call me all sorts of names because they don't like my opinion, and the amount of people trying to... I had one guy who I went back and forth with on Twitter for like a chain of about 5 or 6 tweets before I eventually blocked him, who kept saying things like, all Football Manager fans feel like, and then was like, you're not taking it seriously. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to make you stop forcing your opinion on everybody. You're not speaking for all Football Manager fans. Just change the way you're wording it. Tell me what you don't like. What are you unhappy with? Don't tell me what FM fans are unhappy with, because you don't know. You know what you're not happy with. And he just couldn't accept that I could form my own opinion and like it. So because I like it, I must be lying. And that's the thing that's been most annoying. If you don't like it, you must be like... I dislike it so much that there's no way you could have the opposite opinion. Therefore, because you do, you must be lying and you must have been paid off. And it's just absolute bobbins. Absolute nonsense. Do you think Miles and the team would have liked a bit longer to work on it? Yes. But Sega pressured them to release it how it is. I don't think it's necessarily even Sega pressuring them. I think it's probably they're under a lot of internal pressure as well. They're a one-game studio who haven't released a game in 2 years. They need to, and they've spent more money than ever before on licenses, and they've got more staff than they've ever had before. So the game is way, way more expensive to make than it's ever been in history. And they've had an entire year of making no money from it. They probably need to balance their own books. Never mind pressure from Sega. They've got pressure from themselves. They need to make some money. Can I not do this? What is going on here? Right, I can on that screen, but I can't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't move him. I'm not that bothered about it. Right, let's go very attacking and try and get back into this game. Do you have some getting started plans for newbies in FM26? Yes, I'm probably going to leave it a couple more days because I don't want it to get flooded with negativity in the comments. So I'm thinking probably Wednesday I'll start my beginners series. And hopefully by then we'll have had a patch or two and people will have calmed down a little bit. Because the last thing I want is like all three of the videos that I've done looking at talking about my thoughts on the game have been massively thumbs downed, and the comments are horrible, and I don't want that on a video aimed at new players who are just looking for a little bit of guidance on how to set up their save. So what has happened here? Oh, we've lost a player. So I'll leave it one more day. Kev, I love and respect your opinion. Some screens are flat out broken and hiring staff is an absolute nightmare, but the match engine and the tactic are fantastic, and that's what most of us are here for. We can give them a month at least before we condemn the studio. I would say let's not condemn the studio. We've got the aliens! We just had a brief moment of alien. They're back! Where's Matt? Oh, that's phenomenal. Love it. Yeah, get that clipped. Lovely stuff. Hilariously, it's a complete new graphics engine. Yeah. I wonder, I mean, Matt probably understands why that's happening. I think a lot of fans see YouTubers as the voice of change for the game, so if you don't shout and scream about changes, the devs won't know. In reality, the devs are well aware of issues, whether YouTubers say it or not. Yeah, exactly. And quite apart from anything else, I think it is important that if YouTubers are seen as the voice of the community, I think it's quite important that we represent the entire community, and no one person can do that because not everybody agrees. So I think you need different voices saying different things, so every part of the community is represented. And having one element turn on another because they disagree and can't believe they've disagreed in good faith is absurd. So, yeah. I certainly don't feel like I'm out here on my own shouting about what I like and everyone else disagrees with me. I think there are literally hundreds of thousands of people out there who feel exactly the same way I do. And actually, I'm the only person representing them. And there are plenty of people in the other crowd effectively trying to silence me and silence that entire group, which is rubbish. 2025 is rubbish. I'm about 90% certain half the people saying they don't like the UI are actually realising this game is just harder. There'll be an element of that. There'll be an element of people not able to see past the bugs. Because when they announced they were removing the chalkboard, nobody cared. Now, the amount of people who are using it as an example of why the game is not as good as it was. I remember when they announced the chalkboard was going, the most common reaction I saw from anywhere was, what's the chalkboard? I didn't even know it was in the game. And now everybody seems to use the chalkboard. And they're horrified they don't have a chalkboard anymore. Do you see your tactics choices in games on matchday graphics? I mean, you can see the formation, if that's what you mean. What's the chalkboard? Exactly. I still don't know. I racked up 3K hours on 24. What's the chalkboard? No idea. What's the chalkboard? Don't know. Didn't use it. Don't care that it's gone. Some people are really upset about it, though, even though they weren't when it was announced it was going. It's weird. I did not understand that passing map was part of chalkboard. I mean, I vaguely remember the passing map being a broken mess. Did that get fixed after I removed it from my screen? Because I remember the passing maps were just, you'd get a little graphic of half a football pitch that was just entirely covered in lines. Like lines on top of lines on top of lines on top of lines. And it just always looked like the exact same pile of loads of lines on top of each other. Are you telling me that ever became something more useful than that? Because I never saw it. Can you represent me, Kev? I'm enjoying the game so far. Sacked from my first club before New Year. Of course I can. Welcome to the casuals. The bugs are annoying, but I play the game very similar to you and think it's better than 24 with potential to become even better. No one is saying how the match engine now looks with different goal animations. Has anyone found a heat map yet? I don't think there is one, and I think people are upset about it. I don't think I ever looked at one, but I think people are upset about it. For 25 announcements, they said that less than 1% of players use the chalkboard, so it's interesting that they're speaking for all players. Exactly. UI is awful and dysfunctional. Gameplay is cleaner and a lot better to watch and play. Sideward step as a whole, step forwards in my books as I stand on UI, means a little to me. Disappointingly, I think 2-year wait is overshadowing and expectation has killed it for us. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I think there is a part of that's a particularly good point. The UI is a lot easier to fix than the match engine, as they've shown over the last 20 years. So if for FM26 we have to accept much better match engine, much worse UI, it's not ideal, but I think it still averages out to a game of roughly the same quality. But I would expect more of a leap forward in UI for 27 than we would have got on graphics if it had been the other way around. The game on the whole is okay, agree. Navigation is the issue. For example, a simple task of going back to the transfer room, going from the player you're looking at, goes back to other screens, just frustrating. I mean, there are potentially ways to do that a little bit quicker once you get used to it. I know people don't like being told they've got to relearn the game, but I think people forget they had to learn the game in the first place. Because some people have very selective memories. Anyone who comes out and tells me that they just intuitively knew how to use the old FM UI without needing to learn it is just a liar. Because one of the biggest complaints for years is that it wasn't accessible for new players and they needed a proper tutorial system and it was overwhelming for new people and people would load it up for the first time, take one look at the UI and turn it off. So you didn't just know how to use it. I learned with it over the years because I started on Championship Manager 2 when it was very straightforward and the features were drip fed to me over 30 years. If FM24 was the first Football Manager game you ever played, That UI was entirely inaccessible. It was not clear how to do anything, and you would have spent hours upon hours upon hours not knowing where anything was, being annoyed by clunky, illogical stuff. Well, now they've moved everything, so you are in that situation now. If they kept the old UI, people would complain they didn't change a thing. Exactly. Oh, yeah. I've seen lots of people saying, why couldn't we just have this match engine with the old UI? Because if they'd have done that, everyone would have said, just looks the same. Slightly better graphics, but it's just the same. They've not done anything. They can't win. Is there a way to get director of football recommendations this year? Not in the way they used to work, because the way they used to work was completely unrealistic. As much as I liked abusing it, it was a nonsense system. It's been replaced by the transfer room that actually works a little bit more realistically. So you can still ask for players in specific positions, but it just takes a few days for the recommendations to come through. Rather than them immediately having an encyclopedic knowledge of the entirety of world football, the way they magically had in FM24. Because you'd be sat there managing a team in the National League, asking for recommendations for out-of-contract left-backs, and they'd recommend you this guy who's never played outside of the Portuguese third division. And it's like, what, you just know that guy off the top of the head, do you? Interesting. Wish I had your knowledge. So it is more realistic the way it works now. But it's not as overpowered. So it's helping address some of the criticisms that the game's too easy. Quite apart from anything else. Which is a good thing. Right, we need to do a goal. I'm kind of at the point where I want to get to the transfer window and sell off a lot of this squad because it's rubbish, and do a bit of a rebuild, because it seems no matter what tactic we use, we get a couple of good performances and then we're back to not being very good again. And I don't think we're in any danger of getting relegated. We're sat in 13th place. We're relatively clear of the relegation zone. We're supposed to finish mid-table, so we're not underperforming. The board aren't going to be cross. But we're also not in any danger of getting promoted this season either. It's very much, it already, despite it being relatively early in the season, it already feels like a transition season. And I just want to get to the transfer window. Also, the same people that complain that the game's too easy are the ones that don't use their own scouting and just pick up the same Wonder Kids every day. I know. I missed the shortcuts bar on the left side. I mean, it was a menu. It wasn't a shortcuts bar, was it? Would you call that a shortcuts bar? I mean, you've got the bookmarks along the top now. You can basically have a bar at the top that pretty much replicates the old bar down the side if you want that. I remember people were upset when they removed the top bar and brought the side bar in. What was that? Like FM17, FM18? There was no side bar. It was a top bar. People hated the change. Now they've got rid of the side bar and brought a top bar back, and people hate the change. Eventually we get to the point where it's, okay, so people just hate change. They want change. They demand change. But when they get change, they don't want it. They like the idea of change. I think some people just like to have a little moan. When will Non-League Legend be started? Starting 4th of November, unless the game is still really buggy. I am going to start. I think I am officially putting that proviso on it. If the bugs are fixed, then, or if the majority of the bugs are fixed, 4th of November when the full game is out. If it's still very, very buggy, we might keep it a few days or a week. They demand a kind of change that was never viable. Yeah. Oops. Accidentally pressed continue without reading my inbox messages. What a rascal. I do need to get into the habit of not clicking on them all, because I don't need to. I'm not reading them. I'm glancing at what they are, because if there's anything important, like I'll read that. I want that. And I'll apply that advice, and I want to know what's wrong with him. He wants to start more games. I kind of want him to start more games as well. We're going to tweak the tactic again so we can get him involved more. Yes, you're going to play more games. And you want to go back to how you were before. But I need to... I need to stop clicking on every message and just accepting a lot of them don't need clicking. Like those two don't need clicking. That doesn't need clicking. So I can just do that. I don't need to look at them. I didn't even need to do that. I could have just left them as they were. But I can't bring myself to do it. For the love of God, give us the old spacebar flow again. See, a lot of people have said things like that. I like the fact we don't have that. I'm enjoying the fact that I don't have to look at every message. And this is what I mean about it is literally impossible to please everybody. Because I like the fact that I don't have to look at all the messages. I think that's a positive change. It's a good thing. Shall we just do something completely random out of possession like that? That seems like a terrible plan. Is it a terrible plan? That's a terrible plan. We'll go to that. We're just tweaking a smidgen. At the end of the day, SI are damned if they do, damned if they don't. Exactly. Are New Zealand in disguise? He wishes. I did notice on one Reddit thread, he did tell the world he wanted to have sex with me, which was interesting. I mean, we all knew it anyway, but it was nice to see him publicly confirm it. Yeah, finally he's publicly admitted it. After putting me on no end of thumbnails, he's finally admitted what we all knew. Zealand has a crush on me. I must say, one downside of the match engine is that the crowd doesn't wear club kits anymore. I mean, that's something that's probably a relatively easy fix later down the line. That's just not a huge priority for right now. Remember, we're 3 days removed from a bug that took you back into the team meeting every time you press continue. That was probably a higher priority than making sure the fans change their shirts. I suspect it's on the list somewhere, though. Is there a quick way to rest all your players after each game like there was by clicking the calendar in FM24? I never did it by clicking the calendar. I always did it the way I do it now. So you go into the squad, highlight the players you want to rest, and then rest them. And that's exactly how I did it in FM24. How did you do it by the calendar in 24? See, I'm learning so much stuff about FM24. But yeah, to me, it's exactly the same way. We had this revelation last night that I realised not everybody selects all by holding down shift and clicking the top one and the bottom one, the way I've always done it. Because I kept seeing online people saying you can't select all anymore. You can't select all your can't select a group of players. And it's like, I mean, you literally can, the same way you've always been able to. But apparently you used to be able to kind of drag over them and select the list that way, which you now can't do. But you can still do this. I had a funny bug today where I organised friendlies against a women's team when playing as a men's team. That is interesting. Did you play the match? What happened? I am intrigued, because the whole idea was they would never be able to play against each other, and that's why they didn't have different attribute ranges and stuff. You could press calendar at the top, then right click, and then 2 clicks you could rest all. I genuinely never knew that. And that kind of illustrates everything we've been talking about. People play the game in completely different ways. Played the match, won 6-0. The height differences were mad. Awesome. I mean, can you still just click on the calendar and rest players? You might be able to. Doesn't look like you can. Like me using clear subs button constantly that's now missing. Yeah, I didn't know there was ever a clear sub. I mean, maybe I did know there was a clear subs button, but it's not something I ever really used. But, I mean, the big example is the saving team selection thing that everyone's cross about not being there, that I never used. Because to me, the logical way is to always start with quick pick or selection advice and then tweak if you need to. But apparently there are people who literally pick their team from scratch for every match. And because of that, saving your first team and your rotated team, I guess would be quite handy, but it's not something I've ever needed to do. Shall we see if we can get some tactics evaluation? We're all good. We are evaluized. That's what I'm trying to do. Right, so we've got Garbett in. And then out of possession, he gets up there with him. Right. Who are we playing? Who are we playing? Does it not tell you on this screen who? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Luton in the FA Cup. Okay. Kakan Munter. Good name. Thank you very much for the prime. Every time I use Quick Pick, my tactics change as I think Quick Pick emulates dropping and dragging players, which moves their in and out of possessions, if not on the combined view. Weird. Untick the sliders when you get selection advice, or it will only pick the unpicked players. Interesting. I'll have a look at that. How to see my staff compared to the league. Again, I think that's something that's been removed because it was entirely unrealistic. I mean, I could be wrong, but we talked about this on stream the other day. You shouldn't know that you've got the 17th best fitness coach in the league because you don't know that in real life. That's a mad thing to be able to just look at a glance. So I suspect it's been removed because it probably shouldn't be there in a simulation. And I'm the same. I used to judge whether I needed new staff based on that. Whereas now I guess I have to put a little bit more thought into it, or just leave it for my director of football or technical director to sort out. You can still keep the same team selection. Just click change for next match. There you go. I will hydrate. Has anyone else run into the bug where the match stops after half time and can't continue no matter what you do? I have not. Arista, thank you very much for the 3 months. Enjoy the FM26 content despite the drama around the whole thing. Yeah. Hope it all goes well now that there is actually something new to play. Exactly. We're having a lovely time. All the nonsense will calm down in a few weeks. And because let's face it, give it 2 or 3 weeks and we're going to be in the situation where the only, theoretically, in a month's time, the only people left playing the game are the ones who are enjoying it, surely. The ones who really don't like it aren't going to force themselves to play it for a month, surely. They'll just stop playing it. So we are going to reach a point at some point where we can just all, those of us who are enjoying it, can just have a nice time. And the ones who weren't enjoying it can try it again when a patch comes out or a new feature comes out or the new game comes out. Would you recommend the game to someone who only plays in 2D? I mean, there's certainly less upside to the change if you only play in 2D. I mean, the new 2D mode does look nice. We've had a little look at it. I think it looks quite nice. Come off the replay. Eventually, we'll be able to see an example of it. Maybe not. There you go. So, I mean, it doesn't look hugely different, but I think it is slightly improved. We don't have those weird gaps around the edges that we had before. So I think they've probably improved 2D a bit, but I would say it's less of a selling point in the way the new match engine is. That's not ideal. I would say maybe give 3D a try. "2D mode in CM4 before was lovely and C-faxy, just like watching Grandstand as a kid. Looking forward to possibly managing England to the World Cup with the new module." Yeah, definitely. I mean, I imagine we're a long way away from being able to do it. They just said it was going to be before the World Cup. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was like May before we saw that. Gotta say, some of the negativity from some streamers is such a drain. Enjoying positive Kev. Awesome. And that's what I've always tried to do. I remember when everyone was really down on FM23 or 24, whichever one we had that round table for. I was the same then. I like Football Manager. They'd have to do a lot wrong to make me not enjoy the game. And I make daily content on it, you know. There comes a point where you have to make the decision of, do I want to be a miserable, grumpy, groany moaner for the next year, every single day? Or do I want to just enjoy my job and have fun with it? I can accept it's not perfect, but it's still better than, you know, having a real job. So I'll just have a nice time. Any plans to do yeah, definitely plans to do the network game at some point. I'm always up for it, but at the moment network games apparently don't even work. So I don't expect one to start this week, for example. I got banished for being positive. I know. The irony, eh? It's always the same. My opinion is too different from everybody else's. FM20p, it was when people got upset at the lack of change. Yeah, those were the days. No quick pick is the only thing that would make me complain properly. Yeah, definitely. Or making me do my own training. Reddit loves me now. Reddit has never liked me. And quite frankly, based on some of the reactions I've seen on there over the last few days, I really don't want that group of people to like me. I feel like if that group of people like me, I've made some bad life choices. If there's ever a group of people to consistently upset, I think I know I'm on the right track in life if they're that group. So I'm completely comfortable with it. My most irritating bit is at the end of a match screen. If you click on top performers, it only shows one team's info. Okay. Funniest thing is the ones calling you fat when they're the ones on Reddit. I'm getting called fat on there, am I? Wow. They should have seen me a year ago. Random Hero, thank you very much for the 4 months. I love that, though. That's when you know they've run out of actual, like, contributions to the conversation. I don't like this guy. I don't know why, but there's a pile-on and I want to be involved. So I'm going to call him fat. What is wrong with people? I saw another one going off on your thumbnail faces again. Oh, yeah, I get that one all the time. I love that one. If anything, that's part of the motivation for continuing to do it, because I'm not convinced in 2025 it actually makes as much of a difference as it used to, because everyone does it. So it used to work because it would make you stand out, whereas now, if anything, doing normal thumbnail faces or no thumbnail face at all, certainly in this niche, would make you stand out more. But I just like winding them up with it. It's fantastic. It just makes me want to open my mouth that little bit wider and look that little bit more surprised. And have my face photoshopped that little bit more. What's the lowest league in English football you can start on? National League North and South. We're getting absolutely smashed here. No FA Cup for us this year. Saw your honest thoughts video. I thought it was refreshing to hear a different opinion. Thank you very much. That was the intention. I mean, the intention was just be honest. But I like the fact that that's the side effect of it. It's important that everybody gets to feel represented. And no matter what the internet will have you believe, not everyone agrees on everything all the time. Topless Kev thumbnails, maybe. I mean, I have done topless thumbnails before. You could do some new faces on the thumbnails with less fat. Hey, hang on. I did my new thumbnail faces a week ago. What are you saying? I'm just retaining water. Suck my cheeks in. My FM26 thumbnail faces are brand new. Thumbnail faces make me not want to click on a video, but you get a pass. Yeah, some people do say that. The analytics, the evidence shows the complete opposite. Pout if I do thumbnails. How many thumbnail faces did I take? It was like 350, I think. We've got I did like 175 in a t-shirt and then the same 175 in a suit. So we've got a whole load of suit ones as well. I ask this every year. Are we getting FM Mobile near a Christmas tree? No, we are not. That was rubbish. As is our performance in this football match. We are getting absolutely smashed. What would I do if I get fired? Bug report it because we're overachieving on our club expectations at the moment. Is there going to be a 500 years in the future video? Yeah, I should think so. How's Dave? Annoying. I just noticed that for cup games, when somebody scores, it says how many goals the player has scored. However, for league games, it does not. Is that true? Are we going to have a Kev 2026 calendar? We might do. I might just collect my best thumbnail faces. At some point, can we have thumbnail faces released as a face pack for new gens? Yeah, maybe. Non-League to Legend will start on the 4th of November. How's league form? Average. We keep doing the same thing where we change tactic, win a few games, and then the tactic stops working, so we have to change it again. I think we're now at the having to change the tactic again stage. But we're fine. We're 14th in the league. We just want to get to the January transfer window now. I want to, by the end of this stream, if we can be at the start of January, so tomorrow night we can focus on January. That's the goal, really. Right, that didn't work. So we're going to bin this off. This is still the way forward in possession. But out of possession, we'll go to this. Which I think is what we had earlier. We're going back to it. There we go. They're completely on top of each other now. Which is a tactical choice. Time to search the forum and see if hold team meeting bug has been reported. What's the hold team meeting bug? I did a team meeting earlier in the Arsenal save. So I know they work. They exist. Your honest thoughts was good. Just finished Work the Spaces similar video. There's a lot of bedding in and it will get better. But right now there's a lot of careless bugs. My bugbear is the size of the font. Yeah, I mean, bugs will get fixed. If the biggest issues are bugs, then you don't have very big issues. The big problem is if the things you're not enjoying are design choices, features rather than bugs, because that's much harder to fix. And it might be that they've got no intention of fixing it because they don't consider it broken. I don't want to renew his loan. Why am I looking at that? When's my next Arsenal video? There was one that came out at 4 o'clock today. Next one will be 4 o'clock tomorrow. The club are unhappy with... What are they unhappy about? I don't even know what they're unhappy about. We're unhappy with how things have been going lately. What's the matter with you? It's a real chore to come to work. Well, don't come then, Archie. You're the one who wants to leave. There you go. I'll promise I'll fix it. Sorted. Morale manager. Here we go. The bug is that team meetings seem to randomly pop back up when you finished it. They fixed that. That was the original issue, but that's been fixed now. When you get into the swing of YouTube, how many videos advanced of the one that's being released that day do you like to be working? I mean, I like to get to the point where I pretty much have all of the Let's Play videos recorded in 1 or 2 days at the start of the week. And then I can spend the rest of the week on my other channels, my like one-off standalone style videos. So yeah, ideally we get to the point where I can record 5 days of non-Lethal Legend in like over the course of Monday and Tuesday, and then have the rest of the week free for some standalone stuff, some tutorial stuff, experiments, some Lego stuff, some vlog stuff. And because what I obviously don't want to do, it's the irony of the situation. This is the year where everyone's like, well, of course Kev's going to say he likes Football Manager. His job depends on it. And it's the irony, of course, being this is the first time in 10 years of doing this where it kind of doesn't. For the first time ever, I kind of don't need Football Manager from a business point of view. I've earned more money from my Lego content this year than I've earned from Football Manager. And we've been fine. So, and the Lego channel is continuing to grow. So next year we'll only get better on that front, and so on and so on. Even at the height of the vlog, although the vlog at one point did have more subscribers than the Football Manager stuff, the vlogs were always getting demonetized. So I never really earned a lot of money out of it. But yeah, these days I make more from Lego than Football Manager. So, I mean, this month will be an exception because obviously this month views are going bananas because of the new game being out. And so I imagine for the next few months, I'll probably make more from Football Manager than Lego. But we get to January, February time with Lego continuing to grow and Football Manager starting to slow down by then, I'll be making more from Lego again than this. You know, for the first time ever, I literally could just walk away from the channel and just focus on Lego and it wouldn't be a problem. How fine? Not quite salmon fine, but being able to continue to live in our house, buy lots of Lego sets, go on. I mean, you know, we've still been able to go on holiday this year. We've still been able to do travel bits. I've still been able to buy my Lego. We've not had a new game for 2 years. So, I don't plan on leaving. Like I said in several of the videos, I'm an autistic man who has Football Manager as a special interest. I'm never going to stop. It's just ironic. It's the first time ever I've had you're biased because your job depends on it. It's like, well, ironically, for the first time ever, it doesn't. So certainly for the first time since I left teaching. So first time in 8 years. I could burn every bridge with Sports Interactive and close the channel and it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Frey Bentos, fine. Raya, thank you very much for 17 months. Is there still a transfer rumours button? Apparently there is. Someone did say where it was. And I forget where they said where. I think we talked about it last night, but I can't remember where it was. We'll have to go looking for it. What do you think of them removing touchline shouts? Me personally, not bothered. But I can see a lot of people are bothered. So just bring them back so people calm down. They didn't do anything, but that means it should be easy to bring back. Just literally add a button. It doesn't need to be connected in any way. They could just tape one on. Just send everybody a big red button on their keyboard to push. so they feel like they're involved in the match. That's all they need. When do you think there'll be a tournament between players? When they add that functionality? At the moment, there's no versus mode. So there's no versus mode. There's no fantasy draft. So it's not possible currently. You can see we've been gegenpressing for too long. The players are getting tired. We need to start resting if we're going to be gegenpressing a lot. Come on, do a goal, you wallies. Should we buy this game on discount? I mean, it's better than buying it for full price. I feel like a few people have tried to trap me into telling them to buy the game using my code, even though they don't really want it, to try and prove some kind of weird point that I'm conning them in some way. So let me clarify. If you're going to buy the game anyway, it's cheaper to buy it with my code. So the code's there. It supports the channel and you save some money. There's not really a downside to it. That being said, no one's forcing you to do it. So get the game wherever you want to get the game. How many coffees do I have a day? 3. Can I increase match sounds volume anywhere? All I did is turn them off and haven't looked at them since. Are you going to try international management when it comes out? Yeah, definitely. Right, we're going to score here. We're about to do a football. One of these two. No, brilliant. Well, why show me the corner then if we're not going to score from it? Oh, maybe we are going to score from it. The highlight continues, boys and girls. Here we go. Oh. For Halloween, will I become a Lego LOLLUJO? I mean, I am streaming Lego on Halloween, so who knows? I mean, probably not, but who knows? Let's keep some mystery in there. Our squad is so rubbish. What an incredible pile of dross this squad of players is. Yikes. Could you give me something to pass on to Will for the thumbnail, please? I mean, I'm literally just flailing around trying different tactics. We've tried like 3 different times to build a new tactic. And every time we do one, we win a couple of games and then start losing again. So get him to summarize that in an open-mouthed thumbnail face. But at least we haven't lost there. We do a lot of drawing. How many matches have we drawn this season? Too many would be my answer to that question. We are still ahead of the Kev ratio, which is important. But how many matches have we drawn? We need to go and have a deep dive on the league table. Dress up as Ben for Halloween. I mean, we wear similar clothes. How do I dress? Explain to me how I dress up as Ben. We both have glasses. We both have beards. And we both kind of just like wear jeans and t-shirts. So how do I, what do I do? What does the outfit involve? We've drawn, Reading have drawn 10 games. We've only drawn 6. I thought we'd drawn a lot. Actually, compared to everyone else around us, we haven't actually drawn that many matches. It just feels like we're drawing a lot when we look on here. Again, it's another 4-match run without a win. It's so... I mean, I don't want to say it's morale manager again, but once you start winning, we win a few matches. And then once we start losing, we lose until we change the tactic. Then we win a bit until it stops working. And then we change it again and we win a bit until it stops working. And it just seems like we're stuck in that cycle. We've now got the Derby against Northampton. So we need to rest the players, get them ready for battling Wobblers. He could do with a rest. Can we still send players on holiday? What? They've removed sending players on holiday? 0 out of 10, worst game ever. Peterborough Sports are an affiliate. Interesting. I mean, what am I supposed to do then? Oh! 10 out of 10, best game ever. There you go. I can still send them on holiday. Go and have a week. Off you pop. Off you pop. And that, boys and girls, is an example of the more you get used to it, the more you'll like it thing. Because I hated it for a minute there. I was ready to join Reddit. But then I found the thing that I wanted, and now I love it again. Does the computer use AI to analyze your tactics so you have to change it? No. And it never has. And it probably never will. No. That's why it's so easy to exploit. You should go undercover on Reddit and post pro-Kev propaganda. They're so anti-me on there, I'd immediately get found out because they wouldn't understand why it was happening. I think one of the questions that you need to answer to be allowed to join the Reddit is how much do you hate Kev? And you have to be up a certain level on the scale. Interestingly, the scale is now text rather than numbers, which they hate as well. I may or may not have just signed a 40-year-old James Milner on a 2-year contract with an optional extension. Lovely. People don't realise how insanely annoying AI adapting would be. Oh yeah, it would be. It would stop being a fun computer game fairly quickly. Use the slider when you do selection advice. Right. Hold on. Are you the person who said that before? What slider are we looking at? Where is there a slider? Or do you mean on the tactics screen? Where's this slider? I don't know where the slider is. Ah! This is how you do opposition instructions, is it? Shall we do some of this? Apply all advice for next match. It's the derby. Let's apply some advice. On tactics screen, selection advice in the top corner. I'm not seeing a slider. It's how do the suggestions for it's how you do the suggestions for opposition instructions. I don't know. You can just delegate opposition instructions to the assistant manager, which I've probably done. I imagine. Have I got staff on here? I haven't learnt my icons yet. It would have been quicker to just go and look where I know staff is. But I need to learn my icons. I need to get fluent at using this. I don't have staff on there. So let's go up here. And then we can match day. So I do the team talks. Is match day what? Oh, no, it's probably tactics, isn't it? So I have already delegated opposition instructions to my boy Kieran. So probably everything I just did was worthless anyway. Careful with those opposition instructions. Next match doesn't work. It's permanent. Right, let's go back to trying to find this slider you're talking about. Go into selection advice. And then under selection. What slider? Is this a colorblind thing? Is there a slider in there I just can't see? I'm not sure what you're asking me to do. Advice selection, then on the pop-up that comes up, it's the top right corner of the pop-up. Oh, right, so I click on that, and then we get a pop-up. Ah, there. Okay, now I see what you mean. Okay, thank you. Magic. That's quite cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's not a slider, that's a toggle. I would call that a toggle. I was looking for an actual slider. But no, that's good. I'm glad we've got that fixed. Thank you very much. Radio button. Is it a radio button? A radio button is either clicked or unclicked. It doesn't move from side to side, I think. Just wondering, is it even possible to have a controlled possession tactic that's based around short passing? Because I've tried so many things yet, I can't seem to get anything working. I mean, it's definitely possible to do it. It's not necessarily possible to get it to work with your team that you've got. He's on holiday. So, selection advice still selects him. Oh no, hold on. So that, is that just going to, I have to toggle that every time, do I? That's a bit annoying. And it also hasn't actually applied the changes. So can I have Sam Hughes in the team, please? Nope. No, you can't. I mean, we could do it manually, like an actual caveman. There you go. Boom. You have to click apply in the top left. Ah, okay. It's 100% a toggle. A radio button is a single selection. A slider is, yeah, it's a toggle. There you go. See, computer science degree over here. I know my onions. First class honours degree in computer science. Right, this is important. This is our big derby. This is the Neen derby. Anyone from Northampton will pronounce that wrong. I don't know how they manage it. Neen spelled N-E-N-E. Derby spelled D-E-R-B-Y. Which one of those two words do you think the Northampton lot are saying wrong? And how could they possibly be saying it to get it wrong? And the answer is not Neen Derby. What's happened here, boys and girls? This feels like a problem. Neeny is a good shout, but it isn't what they say. There you go. We have a winner. They pronounce it Nen. They would call it the Nen Derby. Should I be alarmed at this? Because not only are we seeing nothing. There we go. We're fine. Yeah, they call the River Neen the River Nen because they can't read beyond the first three letters of a word in Northampton. Yeah, that's the first time I've had that bug. But that's a known one, is it? Excellent. Football goal. Oh! Someone said it doesn't show you that in the league. Well, that's it showing me it in the league. So it's not just in the cups that we get that information. I'm from next door, Beds, and have never worked out why they call it Nen. Because they're not very smart. Nen, indeed. Once you get good morale, cohesion, and tactile familiarity, was a good sentence, you can go on very long unbeaten runs, much like previous FMs. Good. I like a long unbeaten run. I'd like one now. You can't see it in the Premier League because it has special graphics. Ah, okay. So it's in everything but the Premier League, I guess. Oh, nearly an absolute beauty. Let's do another football, doo-dah, doo-dah. Let's do another football against the stupid cobblers. The only good thing about Northampton Town Football Club is that there's a Taco Bell outside the ground. And it's not just a Taco Bell. There's a Taco Bell, there's a Five Guys, a Wagamama, there's a Popeyes across the road. Of every football ground I've ever been to, it is the best served with fast food establishments. So I will give them that. Even better than McDonald's. All the worst clubs have the best fast food around their grounds, it seems. We did a football goal again. What's my least favourite ground? Fratton Park. It seems like it takes the majority of the season for your team to understand what you want them to do, unlike previous FMs. Even after a full pre-season of like 8 games. I mean, my views on Fratton Park, we're winning 3-0. What about Stadium MK? Stadium MK is a nice stadium. You can get pizza inside the stadium and it's got an IKEA next door. What's not to like? The team is scum. The stadium's great. What's wrong with Fratton Park? The away fans have to sit below the pitch and get soaked and get trench foot if it's raining. And I've been pelted with coins by Portsmouth fans. So, not a great experience at Fratton Park. That's the Pompey way. Yeah, I loved it. But yeah, rather than, putting this stand next to the pitch, like at a normal football ground, they've basically dug a hole next to the pitch and put the stand down there. So your head is at like foot height, so you can't really see what's going on at all. And the water pools down there, so you're just going to have wet feet even in bright sunshine. And the Portsmouth fans like to hurl coins at your head. St Andrews because the stewards were both scum. I mean, if we're talking about stewards being a problem, Ellen Road. Because the only time I ever tried to go, I wasn't let in because I have a beard, and I quote, that means I could be a terrorist. I don't care that form has been rubbish for the rest of the season. We are 4-0 up at half-time against Northampton. And because of that, I'm going to go down in history as the greatest manager of this football club ever. It's clicked, boys and girls. That was literally the reason they tried to stop me from entering the UK. Wow. I guess that steward from Ellen Road from 15 years ago is now working on Border Patrol. Come on, keep doing goals. Put these rascals in their place. Bojan's got a hat-trick. Everything's working out for the best. It was not a political comment. Someone literally said they weren't allowed in the country. Right, we can rest a few players now. Easy this football management lark. We put these bunch of wallies in their place. You can stick your bleeping nen up your bleep. Sideways. Come on, let's have some more football goals. The Portsmouth fans saw your positive FM26 video as well then. Yeah, but I assume Portsmouth fans are all on Reddit. I think Si Maggio's a Portsmouth fan, and I saw him on the Reddit earlier, so it does that theory does check out. Wonder how unoptimized the processing is in this game. Kapoo spikes so randomly due to this game, even when idle. I mean, I don't know. Why no suit this year? I don't stream in a suit. I've bought a new suit ready for non-league to legend. I do have a suit. But I'm not going to wear it to stream. It gets hot in here. Have I bought a gold one yet? I mean, I've still got my gold tuxedo. That always used to be a little bit tight, so it fits me all right now. Oh, all these late nights making content catching up with me. We might have to wrap things up shortly. Need a snooze. I don't like what's happening here. This doesn't appeal to me at all. Trophyless ceremony is stuttery. Well, I assume we're getting a trophy after this game for being better than Northampton. Surprised Si Maggio's allowed on Reddit after his parents named him after the game. It's not his name. He works for Sports Interactive. Sports Interactive Maggio. And you don't think I'm a shill? If we end up somehow throwing this away. Oh my word. In the 100 years video, I'm not acknowledging what's happening in the match. I'm just going to read the chat. In the 100 years video, you could see year by year of the league positions. Could you not go to club site history, then landmarks, and change to all competitions? No, don't think so. Oh my word! What a derby! Silly old cobblers. Will streaming continue beyond release period? Yeah. I'll stream until views get so low it's not worth streaming anymore. So if people keep watching, I'll keep streaming. The only reason we weren't streaming towards the end of FM24, and by towards the end, I mean like the last 6 months, but the reason we weren't streaming, initially I hurt my back, and then I looked at the figures and it was like, I was streaming to like 120 people. It's like, I have got other things I could spend my evenings doing. As much as I loved those 120 people with a passion, it wasn't a productive use of that time. But as long as it's worth my while, as long as I can afford to pay Topher with the money the streams generate, then we'll keep doing them. Yeah, exactly, like building Lego. I've got a big Lego delivery arriving tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that on the Block Party channel, boys and girls. Lego haul video incoming. People were put off by how good East Fife were. People were just bored of that boring save in boring Scotland. No one was watching it. That killed streaming. So as long as we don't end up doing a save like that kills the streams, we'll be all right. No, it was just who wanted to watch me stream an 18-month-old game, doing the same things you'd seen me do a gazillion times before. What would you have done if I'd have lost Northampton? It's not something I ever think about because it's not something I ever anticipate happening. We've got a cold and flu epidemic now going around the club. Do I get more from a YouTube or a Twitch view? What, money? YouTube. By quite a lot. Hendrick on loan in January. We'll see. No promises. Are we going to make it to January? I think we might just make it to January. You've put that in my head now, Northampton fans. What will my stream save be? I mean, we're going to continue this one for a little while. We'll start a new save on YouTube. We'll start Non-League Legend when the full game is out, but there's no reason to rush to end this one super quick. So we'll play this save to our natural conclusion, and then we'll decide what we're going to do next. There's been release cycles in the past where we've kept the Posh save going all the way through till Christmas pretty much, and then we start the new save in January. So we could potentially do something like that. There we go. Look, I know to click that button now. And then, has it now picked them? Yeah. Wow. Everything works. Will the code we get for the beta access be universal, or will it, I'm not sure what you mean. Bedford Champions League like Leamington, maybe. We'll see. Right, who are we playing? Port Vale. Where are they in the league? Quite high. Let's capitalise on our good form. We'd like to win another football match, please. Will we get a code tomorrow to enter the beta branch for the new updates arriving? I don't know anything about what's happening tomorrow. I think the tweet went out after I went live, and I only know about it from what you lot have told me. I don't know if... I mean, I might have been sent an email or been given some information somehow, but at the moment, I don't know anything. Does it not just automatically update for everybody? Let's see if we can find the tweet. I was about to say, what website is the tweet on? Twitter, Kevin. I've been working too hard. And what's their name? Football Manager. Football. Are we winning yet? Ah, fiddlesticks. Football Manager. Here we go. Thank you for all your feedback since our FM26 beta dropped last Thursday. Our current intention is to deliver updates to the public beta branch on Steam this Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. In the meantime, please do continue. So I think that just means an update for anyone who's playing the beta on Steam, I think is what that means. Oh, anyone but him. Miles Leeburn's just scored against me. Oh, but someone else is saying it's a separate beta. The code will be on the page tomorrow. I mean, we'll find out tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. Like I say, I've not done any reading about it. I know nothing about it other than what is in that tweet and what you lot are telling me. Are there any new updates due? Tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, according to that tweet from FM Assist. This is that whole back three is a quite powerful thing people are telling me about, isn't it? I refuse to bow to the pressure to do a back three. He's got to be offside, surely. But they're going to let him score anyway. Ref. Miles Leeburn is too tall. It's not okay. They did score 2 goals in the same minute. That makes you feel good, doesn't it? A new beta, like a new download or an update. No idea. The forum post explains how they're doing it and provides a guide. Oh, there you go then. So I will read the forum post after the stream, and I urge you to do the same. So it's not just automatic. I'm assuming that means, because if it was just automatic, we wouldn't need an explanation. It's a beta code you have to put in on the Steam Properties tab. Okay. Weird. I wonder why they're doing it like that. Does it explain why they're doing it that way? We're going attacking. Oh, we're already on attacking. That's probably where everything's gone wrong. Why are we on attacking? We're supposed to be on positive. Might as well play as a back three because fullbacks are useless. I refer you to Miles Lewis Skelly in today's YouTube video. Betas on Steam always work like that to track different builds, but we're literally playing a beta on Steam now, and we've already had an update on it and it didn't work like that. So that's not completely true. It might not be compatible with saves. Okay. Basically, they're testing bug fixes before publishing them to the regular build in case it just breaks more stuff. Okay. Did Matt tell me to do it or not to do it? I think Matt said don't do it, didn't he? I mean, shall we try and get a Miles Lewis Skelly-esque performance out of this guy? It's the playmaking wingback that worked so beautifully. Did that not work? Playmaking wingback. Okay, playmaking. So you can't... You have to come here to change it, I guess. And then I want you to be a fullback in possession. And then you... We're trying to get this working more like what works with Arsenal. Yes, he's already inverting. Right, let's see if playmaking wingbacks are great. Don't do it, he said. I will not do it then, unless I do it. We'll see. It was notable they were excluding Epic Store from those betas. Who uses Epic? I don't know any. Look, did you see his positioning there? The playmaking wingback is it's the position, boys and girls. It is the position in FM26. That is our playmaking wingback. Beautiful. The comeback is on, and we're setting up a playmaking wingback. He's going into the tactic permanently. Beautiful. And to be fair, he is quite well suited to the role as well. I get my free weekly games from Epic. Epic do free weekly games, do they? I bet they're all really good. Right. Come on. Do a football. Your Wallies. Do a football. FM24 was free on Epic twice. I do remember that. That's an acceptable reason to use Epic. But I don't understand buying it on Epic at this stage. Come on, get my playmaking wing back involved again. I want him to make some play. Come on then. And then we go. Very attacking. Should we try the double playmaking wing back? Is that just asking for trouble? We're going double playmaking wing back. What could be the worst that happens? Which means when we've got the ball there... Oh, then... Look at the positions they're going to take up. They're going to be right up there with him. They're both moving up into there. Double playmaking wing back. Here we go. Can we cope with all this play? We made a football save. That's a positive. Come on, do a football. Ah, he was too busy making play. He can't get back. Big Miles Leeburn. Right, here we go. Football. There's one of our playmaking wing backs. Give it to the other one. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, that's disappointing. Big lump forward. That's what I'm talking about. Make some play. Come on then. Look at where my wing backs are. They're literally in the penalty area. There he is. Across to the other one. Oh, it would have been glorious. You should just sign Leeburn. I've already got Bojan. I don't need two enormous lumps. I mean, I do. But I don't need to. Should we see how much Leeburn is? We've got 2.5 million to spend. We could. I mean, the thing is, we've already got too many strikers. But we could just sign Miles Leeburn. Jimmy J. Morgan's not the answer, I don't think. Right. Let's see how much Leeburn is. Oh yeah, sign him as a priority. All right. How much? I mean, we probably could. Are we going to be absurd? Are we going to do 2 million up front, 5 million on the Never Never? He is one of the boys after all. And he's 6'7", and you can't teach that. Boom. Come on, Miles. In you come. Getting the band back together. I can't believe I might be about to spend £8 million on a striker in League One with Peterborough. But what a time to be alive. He doesn't want to join. I'll be the judge of that. He doesn't know how much money I'm going to throw at him yet. There's your posture check. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get Micah Beereth. He's too busy playing actual football rather than League One nonsense. Where is he? Why can't I offer him a contract yet? Football, football, football. I was waiting for something to happen. I need to press continue. I know how to play the game, honest. Where is he? Why is he not here yet? We want 6'7". We want 6'7". This guy signed for Posh over a year ago in real life, and I've never seen him play. He's just been injured the entire time he's been with us. So that's quite accurate, that he just keeps getting injured. Oh, he already turned me down, did he? What? When? How? Where? Why? When? What, so that's him turning me down? I don't get a message. Well, that's upsetting. I was getting quite excited there. Sign Hendrick instead. No, not Snd. Hendrick. This shouldn't be difficult. Jeff Hendrick, that's who we're signing, yeah? That's who you mean. Maybe Jeff Hendrick is more realistic. So shall we sign Hendrick? Let's have a look. Can we get Hendrick? Possibly. Still cheaper than Jay Stansfield, and he's not 6'7". It is a good point. A nickname's still a thing, presumably. That's a great point. So we can just give everyone nicknames. There you go. We've got Pele. Hooray! That's easy. We could build a wonder team. Who else should we sign? Perhaps this is all we needed to do all along. Remove nickname. Right. Selection advice. No. Selection advice, not selection info. Untick. Tick. Tickle. Tick. Huzzah. Oh, what's going on here? Right. What we are going to do is make him a playmaking wingback. And then, yeah, he can... That works. I like that. Playmaking wingback from the start, and we'll make that positive. Boom. Let's win a football match. I should sign Mr. Tickle from Wigan. We don't need a goalkeeper. We're all right. Right, here we go. Big win to end the stream. With playmaking wingbacks, doing playmaking wingback things. That's what we're looking for here. And that sets us up very nicely for tomorrow night to be able to do the January transfers where we're going to sign Hendrick. Guaranteed. Guaranteed by the end of tomorrow night's stream, we will have Hendrick in our squad. That's a guarantee. Someone will have to remind me I've guaranteed that at some point. But I have, and I will follow through. Right, come on, Sariki. Bojan, you wally! Oh, we're going to do a football goal from a corner here. Here we go. What's my target for the January transfer window? Sell 5 or 6 of these players and buy an entirely new squad. We're setting the bar quite low. I want to sell at least 3 strikers because we've got too many. And maybe buy some midfielders because we don't really have any. And then just generally upgrade everybody else. And sign Hendrick. If you don't sign Hendrick from Real... whoa. I never said Hendrick from Real Madrid. I said we would have Hendrick. And I'm guaranteeing we'll follow through on that. I never said we were signing anybody from Real Madrid. Be very careful what you hear compared to what you think you hear. Ah, fiddlesticks. Football. Do a football. I think I've been more excited about the content creators coming back to the forefront of the actual game this year. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're having a lovely time. Kick him. Please don't let him, for goodness sake. We are rubbish at football. Oh my word. We are rubbish. That was appalling. I'm fascinated that we're mid-table because we're so rubbish. Look at that playmaking, though, from midfield. Look at it. That is beautiful. Oh, that was beautiful. Hello, football. Give it to the playmaker. Oh, I see. It's not really what I asked you to do. I mean, I'll reluctantly acknowledge it worked out okay on this occasion, but in future, if you could follow the direct instructions you're given, I would appreciate it. This is quite a good goal. Wallop. If he can do that, why is it the first time he ever has? Oh, yeah, I've already outlasted Fergie, and we're higher up in the league than he has been all season. So everything from this point on is a win. I've succeeded at this save already because I've done better than real life Peterborough with the real life manager. So everything from this point on is just a cherry on top. I'm already a winner. So I'm comfortable. Now I'd like to spend £8 million on a striker, please. Right, come on. Stop being useless. There's my playmaker. Look at that. That's beautiful. It is like having a left-footed Trent Alexander-Arnold in the squad. Having Flint doing things like that. Look at the positions he takes up. Beautiful work. Look at the space he's got. In all seriousness, probably should have given him the ball there. He had so much space. At what point do Posh announce McCann as their manager? God, hopefully never. I don't know which would be worse, him or Steve Evans. Steve Evans is an awful human being. Grant McCann is one of the worst managers in football history. I genuinely would like neither, please. But of course, Smoothman's turned up because he knows Shady was in earlier. He's here to get his sub. Footballs! Ferguson is favourite, as he should be. I do think we should save time and just give him the job back now. He's had a couple of days off. Here we go. Here we go. Look at the space he's got to run into. Come on then, keep going. Keep going. Oh, you idiot. Why didn't you cross it? What a waste of time that was. There were 2 points during that move where he kind of stopped waiting for someone to tackle him and he didn't know what to do. That was ridiculous. Alex, thank you for the gifted sub, but please don't encourage Smoothman's sponging. It's hideous. I don't think he's got a card linked to his Twitch account. He's never had to buy his own sub. Right, we need a new playmaking wing back. I think Jimmy J. Morgan might be that man, so we're going to play him at left playmaking wing back and see what happens. We are probably sending him back to Chelsea in January. He's not really worked out. He's one of the few bright points we've got in real life. He has not been good in game, though. Right, we're going very attacking. Right, give it to Jimmy. Oh, okay, that works too. Again, you've got space to run into. I love the fact he felt the need to do the step over there just to let everybody catch up with him a bit. Do something. It's very upsetting when that happens. Goodness me. Please do a goal. We haven't won a game since Northampton, have we? Since we scored the 4th goal at Northampton, everything has gone downhill massively. Right, come on then. Equaliser. Anyone? No? Morgan has no idea what he's doing. He's having to actually play as a left back at the moment. Oh, there he goes. Look, that's playmaking right there. Maybe he's not the man to do this role. There he goes. He's the man to do this role. Jimmy J. Morgan is away. Look at him go. Oh, look at him go. Oh, my word. He made the play. Oh, he made the play. Wonderful stuff. Playmaking wingbacks. It's all you need. This was brilliant. Stick a striker at left back. That's all you need to do. That was a beautiful cross. Right, stay on attacking. Let's try and get a winner. What a cross that was. Anna's asking me why I'm shouting. Jimmy J. Morgan made the play. All the information she needs. I can't be clearer. Right. Come on then. Who's going to grab a winner for us? Let's have a winning football goal, please. From Peterborough United, let me clarify. Can we... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here comes the winner. What a rubbish corner that was. What a great move that was. That was straight off the training pitch. I taught them how to do that. Set piece FC. Yes, do the tactical changes. I'm a tactics man. Look at me go. Beautiful stuff. Shiny Gummy. Thank you very much for the sub. All you need is a striker at left back. Football. Can we have the final whistle now, please, ref? Come on, then. Oh, we needed that. Oh, it's making my tonsils giddy. There we go. So we end the stream. 14th in the league, 30 points on the board. We ain't getting relegated. Look at the state of Northampton. 8 points, if you can't see them behind my head. And we're only actually 6 points behind Luton, who are in the playoff positions. So if we can buy an £8 million striker in January and then put him at left back making the play, we're going up as bleeping champions, is the summary. But that was, by every measure, a very successful stream. Look at us go. No, not fixture schedule. That's not what I'm aiming for. I wanted to show you this so we can have a proper look at the league table. Where's the 4? Oh, XG table. How are we doing on that? Yeah, we don't need to look at that. That's irrelevant. Do they not have a form table anymore? Ah, okie dokie. So the media prediction was 16th and we're 14th. So we're overperforming the media. We're dead on as far as the latest. I mean, the season's going as the season was expected to go. But why is Morgan not in that team at left back? That feels like an issue. £31 million spent in League One is so stupid. I hate modern football. Right, boys and girls, we'll wrap things up there. Of course, we have a new Arsenal episode for you tomorrow on the main channel. We'll be back tomorrow night for more playmaking shenanigans. And I will see you then. Toodle pip, everybody. Bye-bye. Where's the button? There's the button. There it is. Bye.